Alright, should be live. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay, not horrifyingly loud. Let's see how things are looking on everyone's end. Bleep, bloop, bleep, blorp. Okay. Andrew Ratfist, you are indeed first. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever inaugural, probably not going to happen that many other times, but who the heck knows, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Collector's Edition Town Hall, otherwise known as the basically 223rd? Let's see. Yeah, this would be Shin Megami Tensei Network Link 223. No, Jack Frost, I did not get one. So yes, a quick bit of a pre-ramble before we get too started in this. Basically, we are only talking about the Collector's Edition situation today. I have some information. I want to hear from everybody first about what's going on, everybody's situation. So, heads up, I'm sure I'm going to have to repeat this a bajillion times. But if you look in the YouTube description, you can go to our Discord, join the Town Hall voice chat server. If you want to mute yourself in there, I will bring people on, get their thoughts and opinions, and hopefully cycle in as many conversations as possible in a timely manner. So, because this is also a podcast, I did want to get a little bit of basically heads up in case you just woke up out of a coma and have absolutely no idea what the heck is going on. So, Atlas today has announced the special edition and the pre-order bonus for Shin Megami Tensei 5. So what does this mean? This basically means one thing. My thing is either going to be really loud really quickly. Okay, thankfully it was not. Alright, so basically what this means is that we now know that we are getting a Steelbook if you pre-order the regular edition, and everyone who wants the collector's edition, which we will be mostly talking about today, will be getting a sweet Steelbook. It's a bag, but it's basically a Switch fanny pack. It holds your Switch, a 100+ art book, and a 2-disc CD all in one big collector's thing. And that is a $120 collector's edition. It actually has a name, too. It's like the Fall of Man Premium Edition or something. So, yes, everything about this has kind of been a disaster. If you wanted to pre-order the standard version, don't worry. Every first edition copy will be that Steelbook. So if you just want the Steelbook, do not worry. Every version, no matter what retailer you go through, in North America, it's published by Atlas. In Eastern countries and PAL, it's going to be Nintendo publishing it. All of those copies will come with the same Steelbook. Do not worry. So the issue is with the collector's edition. We were told, hey, wait until, 11 a.m. Central Time for me, Monday morning, and we will announce pre-orders and announce what's in it. And I was like, cool, what could possibly go wrong? Nothing is leaked. This is everything's coming up Millhouse. So, announcement comes, CE isn't announced, Steelbook's announced, I'm crying, I'm peeing myself, liquids are spewing all over the place. And I'm like, this is great, what could possibly go wrong? Because for me, this is like a 10 out of 10 collector's edition. I love CDs, I love art books, I love Steelbooks. The bag would be usable for me, so like it's a totally big win here. And the pre-orders being an absolute shit show, because what's really funny is, and we're going to get to a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff as we go on through the show, I do want to say one thing. The situation, we are literally like less than 12 hours into pre-orders being live. It's been messy. I have some good news. I have some hopeful things I want to talk to people about as we get in here, but just want to let everyone know it is not all lost. It does not seem like all the editions are sold out, but what's the big deal here? So, basically, in terms of Western big ones, Video Game Plus went up first. They were up for maybe like an hour or two. They are a Canadian retailer who do a lot of they do a lot of stuff with Atlas and stuff. They're definitely not like a big like Amazon or Best Buy, but they're a really, really awesome, reputable site. They went up first. They sold an insane amount apparently, and were told to cap their pre-orders. Then next up, GameStop went online. GameStop went online, put their pre-orders out, and I swear it was like 5 minutes. Premium editions were all sold out. It was really crazy. And then to make things even more crazy, the premium edition has been in-store pre-orderable for some people. So basically, I live in the Midwest, and I've called all over a couple of different states. And places like Wisconsin and places like Ohio, I've seen confirmed receipts of going in the store, dropping $10, editions pre-ordered, no big deal. And then where I live, it's just been like, no, it's not even popping up on our system. You can't do it. It has to be online. I've never seen regional POS issues like this before, so it is really, really crazy. The situation is all over the place. I hopefully have a bunch of answers to everyone's questions, but I want to start cycling people in here and see what they think. So in no particular order, I'm going to join the Discord chat. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay, and everyone will be coming through at a nice volume. So, let's hop into the Town Hall chat, and let's just go with the top. So, Blade Wolf, thank you so much. If you want to unmute yourself and let everyone know either who you are and what your thoughts are on the Collector's Edition situation, now is your time to shine.
Alright. Hi, name's Dez, and right now I've been trying to get this thing since... Well, I'm on the Eastern Standard Time. I'm on the Eastern Standard Time since 12 p.m. Been going at it for every single hour since this thing has dropped, and I've been trying to get one. It's ridiculous. I had the GameStop in my hands. I let it slip by because I had to step away for a few minutes, and next thing I know, it's gone.
That is absolutely crazy. But I mean, I've been at work all day literally since this thing got announced, and it's been so interesting watching people just be like, because I've not been like hardcore F5ing it. I have a lot of alerts for when things go live. Like that's how I knew when GameStop went up. That's how I knew when VGP went up. But it's just been so funny of like, I've had chances to get it if I really want to. But like me personally, myself, even I don't have it because I was joking about this earlier with someone like, because I've been promoting when they go live, that's why I've been missing them. Hilariously enough. So like, it's been really, really like heartbreaking to then see the people who are just trying to get one for themselves. Like, I think like people are obviously going to be talking about scalpers a lot and stuff for it, but it's like the funny thing about it is like, yeah, there's always going to be someone scalping, except I think this is literally just a thing of Atlas, in terms of what they were allotted, had no idea what the demand was for this. And what's really funny about this is most people don't realize this. We're not talking about Persona, we're just talking about SMT. Atlas has not sold a collector's edition for SMT since 2013. Over 8 years ago. Like, so their total skew of like, okay, who's gonna want this is just totally blind. Like I'd even heard from people of just basically being like, I don't know. Like, we legit don't know. They were like, they were either expecting it to just go like normal, and it was just really funny because people, I don't know if you would agree with this or how much of a collector you are though, man, but I think people need to realize this because everyone looks back at Royal because that was their last big collector's edition in the West. Royal was painless. Yeah, Royal sold out pretty quick compared to, like, even P5 and stuff. But, like, looking back at it in terms of, like, after quarantine started, collectors just boomed. Like, everything became harder to get, even if it's just a normal item. And I don't think Atlas fans were really prepared for that. And I think you're seeing a lot of blowback from that of, like, if you're just an Atlas fan, or if you're, like, even just a remote weeb collector, like, this is, like, hardcore Nintendo fan whiplash. Like, I'm used to this shitty treatment, but that's because I know... Like, seriously, go back a week. This situation we are all in right now as a fan and fandom and as a community, this is the Metroid community right now. If you want fucking Metroid Dread, you are shit out of luck or praying to God they restock and have more.
Well, the thing is, over here, for this one particularly, I found it interesting the fact that you ended up saying that you ended up calling other GameStops and they ended up already being able to pre-order them. Well, where I am right now, you can't find this thing anywhere. No matter where you call, no matter who you contact, it is gone. No matter what you do. And yeah, for the site, Atlas screwed up the site so badly just in the first hour. None of the links were available, and when the links were available, they came up an hour later, and then finally, only two websites. One I am not familiar with, and the other was GameStop, and so that was my bad for not realizing, hey, this was a trusted website, so I just skipped it because I'm not familiar with that website. Apparently, a lot of people in the SMT Spheres, my bad. But yeah, for a new guy like me coming into, well, new guy who's going hardcore into this thing for the first time, it's been really well, let's just say crazy. It's been really crazy, and especially with Atlas screwing up with, well, I won't say Atlas isn't at fault this time. It's more like and Best Buy and Amazon screwing up, not putting up the
who's at
the
fault.
links. That
Who's
was
at fault
ridiculous.
is actually a tough one because there's not just one person, and it's not just like I wish it was like I could just say, oh, Atlas West fucked it up, but it is definitely a lot of different levels of communication and stuff for it. But yeah, I'm gonna try and cycle somebody out, man. Thank you for coming on and being on first. Anything you want to say though before I say goodbye?
Thanks for having me on, and have a good one.
No,
See
no
ya.
problem, man. Thanks so much. All right, so next up, we are going to let on King Norakami because I think he was next, even though Immortal Slasher popped in alphabetically on top. So, King, if you want to unmute yourself and say who you are and let everyone know your thoughts on this lovely, no-problem day we've all been having.
What a day it's been, Spencer. Hope you're doing good, man. I'm King Norakami. You might know me for horny tweets on Twitter or my YouTube channel. Most people don't know me for that, but it has been quite a day today. I don't know how long you've been refreshing pages, Spencer, but I know it took up most of my work day. So,
see, this was tough, like because for me, my day job normally is pretty easy. Hold on, I gotta tell Facebook to absolutely shut up because I'm messaging too many people. So the thing about it, my day is like my work day normally, something like this would have been easy peasy, living greasy. Unfortunately, what happened was literally everyone at my day job either bailed or could not show up today. So I had to basically run all over town and handle like multiple offices and multiple jobs and responsibilities all day, ranging from being on a phone, switchboard, driving, delivering, setting up, supplying, and all this other stuff for it. So if I seemed busy on Twitter, please be impressed by that because I legitimately felt like I was running all over. Like my phone was dead and like, my phone was at, like, 10% at, like, 2 hours of being at work for, like, an 8-plus hour work day. It was very, very crazy. So I understand the work struggle.
oh yeah, man, it was such a drag too because here I am answering phones and I'm trying to refresh Best Buy and everything every like 5 seconds and everything, saying, "Oh my God, is it okay?" So I actually took my lunch today at 12. I usually take it at 2, so whenever I go earlier, it's kind of weird, but I took it at 12 and literally got my food and parked in front of like GameStop and just ate there for a while and talked to my girlfriend on the phone. And I swear it was just like a waste of an hour, man. It was so like, ugh. I was so annoyed. And I know it's not completely Atlas's fault. I know both sides are to blame. You mentioned something about that earlier, but who do you think ultimately it boils down to? I know it doesn't boil down to one person, but do you think it's just miscommunication?
So it's a lot of stuff. So basically, the reason we had to wait this long for the reveal was because Atlas Japan was worried SMT5 is going to leak, so they told the West, you guys have to announce your stuff later. Like, you guys have to announce your stuff after the reveal event, because Western retailers are known for leaking stuff really, really late. And hilariously, then Japan was kind of the one responsible for leaking it through their website, but that didn't really change the plan. But the problem with it all was retailers did not have the information until this morning. So basically, unless you were getting things ready on the back end, websites were just basically totally blindsided by all of this. And like when something becomes like putting a listing up, a lot of it is just automated process. That's why you're seeing stuff like Amazon not having an idea what's going on. Best Buy probably is going to go up, my guess is like in the middle of the night, stuff like this. Then you might say, oh, that's an Atlas problem, but then it kind of gets to, well, Japan has a little bit to do with this. And then you have a thing of like, okay, well, if quantities were so limited, why didn't they really warn us? Because like a great example is like, look at something like, and I know this is super old, but like a great example is, so something like Catherine and Persona 4 Golden, when those had collector's editions, those had like around 10,000 copies made. And then comparing something a little more current like Royal and 5, that had like less than, I think, 50k made. And right now, this isn't even, like, has a hard number. So what's really interesting is people are seeing sold out everywhere. It's not even ordered. This can't be sold out. So the funny thing about it is, like, okay, yeah, you think it's sold out. I literally was talking to, like, 3 different sources today. Nothing has been ordered. Because, like, they have the parts, like, ready and proofing and things are happening, but, like, the final, like, manufacturing order still hasn't happened, so, like, there's still a chance for things to happen. And I'll get into this a little bit later through talking to a couple of retailers, because thankfully I was able to hear from people behind the scenes at, like, GameStop and other retailers and stuff, but people should have a good idea if things are really going to be hopeless by the end of next week, and I'll kind of get into that, like, a little bit later, just because it's a little bit weird and kind of, like, hard to, like, mark for it, but, like, do not think today is, like, your only day. This was not limited run games. This is not, oh, fuck, they only made these and they can't do any more. Like, think about it, like, even going, I know I said it's not fair to compare it, but look at Atlus's history. They're not known for making collector's editions that sell out stupidly fast and then they never make any more. They were literally printing P5R special editions after the game had officially been out. Like, they were selling them well into May and June of 2020. Just because they were like, well, fuck, if people are going to buy them, why not put them on back orders just so people can get them? But yeah, that's the kind of thing with that I want to get into. But, like, for you at least, like, outside of the situation kind of being shitty, how did you feel about the CE in general?
About the collector's edition in general, I think it's fucking fantastic. I mean, that bag is beautiful. I am so excited that we are getting a 2-disc soundtrack, because if anyone remembers the Fan of These edition of Royal that came out, we only got 10 fucking songs from that, and that was really disappointing. So, to have the entire soundtrack, I believe it's probably the entire soundtrack. Correct me if I'm wrong, Spencer. Right?
We don't know just because there's no track listing, and I'd actually be surprised if it's only 2 disc, but it's always hard to say. But I mean, at the very least, we literally haven't had a full OST in a Western Collector's Edition since Dancing All Night, so anything over a sampler, I'm always ecstatic about.
I know Catherine Full Body had a pretty good, like, I think it was like 20 songs on its CD.
Even that wasn't, because Catherine's full soundtrack is like a 3+ disc set. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm really excited for it, and I think the price isn't too bad. I know that people were talking about how they paid like $180, $190 for the Japan pre-order, which I'm sure some of that's, importing costs.
Ooh, I want to get your thoughts and everyone in chat's thoughts on this as well, because I've not, obviously, it's so funny, we've all been talking about the collector's edition, but it's all about how no one can get it. Very few people have actually been talking about it. I'm in the camp of, I 10 out of 10 think this is a better CE than the Japanese one. I think the Japanese one sucks compared to this, of like, yeah, you get the art book, yeah, you get the soundtrack, but that's literally everything I wanted from it. I don't care about the t-shirt, the box looks boring by comparison, and, oh my god, I'm trying to even think what the other components are for it. But yeah, like for you, do you prefer one over the other?
I mean, the T-shirt probably wouldn't fit me anyways, because I like food. I like my food, but I'm very happy with this. I think Atlas West went above and beyond.
By the way, I'm sorry. Edition. That was literally it. That's their collector's edition: box, shirt, art book, OST. Yeah, 100%. This is a better deal than the JP one.
I love the bag. I don't know how you feel about the bag, but
I love the bag, but it's definitely a fanny pack. It's gonna be my daily Switch holder, but that's 110% just a fanny pack.
It's not going to be your daily Vita holder?
No, Vita holder gets its own baby carriage. This will be a Switch holder. I've had like the same Breath of the Wild case for my Switch since 2017, so I'm very, very fine with it. Also, the bag, as Wu-Tang brings up, is a just 10 out of 10 a great Among Us reference. Not on purpose, but definitely an Among Us reference.
I saw that tweet earlier today. I don't think my eyes could have went further back into my head.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna cycle in some other people, but thank you so much for coming on. Do you want to say anything else before we dip out?
No. I just want to say I'm happy to be wrong that SMT5 is coming in 2021, because me and you were adamant about 2022, but I'm excited. Hopefully, we can all get our collector's edition soon, and hopefully this will be resolved overnight. I know people are working hard behind the scenes to get it resolved, but thanks for having me on, Spencer, and it's a pleasure to be a part of your podcast. I'm honored, so you take it easy, man.
Sir. All right.
I managed to get one.
Okay, so next up we have is Game Inspection. If you want to give a little intro for yourself, you are our first person of the show today to actually get one. Do you want to tell your story and your thoughts on the CE?
I woke up. Okay, so I live on what was it? I live in California.
Give
so
us
I'm
your
on
give us your
PS
full address, please, and then we'll all be outside your house on launch day, just so we can
Oh my
not rob you.
goodness. Absolutely not. I I live in California, so like I'm on PST. I woke up like super early and I just stayed up and I was like constantly refreshing. And what was it? Wario64 posted it.
How dare
And
he? How dare he? He just drew
and
them. He
the
drew them all to the
second
pre-orders, man.
yeah, the second he posted it, I was in there and I managed to just get just one though. I couldn't even get like a second one for a friend or anything like that.
So I'm assuming.
But
I'm sorry if you'd already said it, but I'm just kind of juggling like three other things. So you said GameStop is where you got it on, right?
mhm.
So for
Yep.
you, is GameStop kind of like your usual go-to? Because for me, I always try to, if possible, get in store because I always have like such a like self-doubt of online stuff never kind of screwing me over. I was the same way with like PS5s of like as soon as it's in stores, I don't care what I'm doing. Like literally right now, I have a friend like who works at GameStop. If he told me, "Hey dude, they're in store and they're working," I'm legit just leaving this podcast on. Like right now. I'll just let everyone on the Discord just take it over, ruin my channel. I would just be like I would absolutely just bail, drive 5 minutes and get my pre-order locked in. Like that's how right I die am for that. But with online, I'm always very like, I don't know, because I always have that fear of what if they oversell it, or if something fucks up, or if I don't get it on launch day. Whereas like, if you get it in a store, you know you're getting it on day one. You know, unless like something truly terrible happens.
Yeah, I tend to use Amazon or
Amazon
yeah,
used to be
mostly
so good
Amazon.
with that, but Amazon has done me dirty like so much. Of like, I can't even think of the last time I got something like the week of I ordered it, like in terms of release day shipping.
Oh, yeah, no, I tend to use Amazon or I can sometimes do store pickups, but I tend not to use GameStop. I just don't like them as a company. But it was the only thing I had, so I just went for it.
Hmm.
Um, I've been like trying to find other links for like some of my friends because they really want some, but it's a nightmare. Which is weird because to my knowledge, with Persona 5, Atlas made those collector's editions on order. Like so like up until I want to say like maybe a month or two before Persona 5 came out, you could get one and it wasn't like
Yeah,
this at all.
they had announced it. I think E3 of 2016 for the collector's edition, and when they had that, I think pre-orders were pretty much live, if not until launch, maybe even a little after. Because I remember the P5 collector's edition was not like something that was hard to get. Like it was just
Yeah.
everyone ordered it if you wanted. Yeah, because it was so far in advance. But I think what's so funny about this one is like, yeah, everyone kind of wants it. I just think it's so funny of like I've heard almost no one really talk about the price, so which like I wonder if people think that's expensive, just in the sense of like for me the way I look at it, like even though it's double the price of the game, I'm like I think that's fair just because like is assuming the art book is the same one we get in Japan, just translated, that's some good quality. The CD, great job, 2 disc, like that's at least like an extra $25 or whatever there in terms of value, and then a steelbook. I'm fucking insane. I've paid $100 for an empty steelbook case before, so really at that point steelbooks are just like fill in whatever price you seem fit.
Yeah, I think it's a fair price. It's like it's 130. I think GameStop told me it's like 130 something after tax, which is that's totally fine.
Hmm.
Like I don't see the issue with that at all.
Okay, then for you, just so I can kind of mix it up how we're sending people off, what are you most excited about as a part of the steelbook? As part of the steelbook, as a part of the collector's edition as a whole.
Um, Probably that demon book.
Hmm.
Probably that. Yeah, definitely that.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for popping on and coming in here. If you want to say goodbye or a final word for everyone, now is your chance.
Happy hunting, guys. That's all I gotta give you.
Thank you, man. All right, Wu-Tang, I will get you in here just because you are so sussy. I don't know, being a Mr. Sussy Baka. So Wu-Tang, if you want to get in here, tell everyone your
Lord.
story. Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you part of the Wu-Tang clan?
Um, None of the above. But you know, Atlas would have data for SMT special editions if they gave us Nocturne HD special edition. Just saying.
I'm going to tell
Just
you
saying.
right now, they could have had a million different scenarios. Like, it's like the opposite of the Doctor Strange situation. If Nocturne in the West had a special edition, like on top of the regular $50 edition, there's no way that would have done well. They would be littering. They would be littering game shelves for like months. So that would not sell out at all.
Yeah, they probably knew that too.
And I mean, you do bring up a great point though. Look at the last couple SMT games. Of course they would underproduce or under-expect sales for this, because think of the last just straight-up SMT games. Strange Journey Redux was in clearance bins almost like 3 months after launch. Nobody cared about it. Nocturne right now is in a weird state of like, yeah, like every store like basically either stores didn't order it, or if you did order it, you still have all of your stock outside of pre-orders. Like, it is not hard to get a copy of Nocturne, nor will it be for a while, because there was that discussion for a while of like, okay, maybe because they know Nocturne is overpriced for Nocturne HD, maybe they'll underproduce it, but no, like their normal level of like standard production is like, it's still fine. Like a low producing number for Atlas, like the lowest I've ever heard without getting concrete facts was 13 Sentinels, and I can still buy a new copy of 13 Sentinels for like $30.
Yeah, same.
So it's a weird thing of they haven't had anything to really base it off of for a very, very long time. I will say though, I at least wish like they were like, they give us all these bullshit fucking surveys. Why not fucking make one of them finally just be, here's our collector's edition for hypothetical 5th RPG. How many of you want this for this price? And then they can go, oh, over 10,000 people want this? Fantastic, we'll make more than 10,000.
I think they don't want to do that though, because they might be overproducing, because of course people are gonna mess with the surveys. But yeah, that would be a good idea if they actually would want to do it.
I think they've at least been around and have enough like retail interest to really get it, but this is also the same company who can't fucking make their own store profitable, so like it's like they're like their own worst enemy in terms of like producing things. Like, even like, think about it, like if they just did this. They resurrect the Atlas store. The SMT5 Collector's Edition is a Atlas store exclusive, and if you want it, there you go. It's only on our store. We are in charge of all the shipping, all the manufacturing, and we have it all, like, it's just one shop. Whereas, guess what? When it sells out at GameStop online, what does everyone think? Oh shit, they're sold out. No, what happened today isn't that something is sold out. What basically happens is they sell a certain amount, and like this goes for VGP, a couple of the other retailers in GameStop, from everything I've heard. Atlas was seeing how many copies we're selling right now. They didn't go to the retailers and just go, okay, GameStop, you get 10,000, VGP gets 50,000, and blah blah blah. No. They just said, here's our link. Tell us how many you're selling as it happens. And basically, they saw how many people were buying them, and they told all the retailers to stop. They just said, stop, don't take any more pre-orders. And so it's like, the whole such thing right now is like, Atlas is kind of like sitting and being like, oh shit. Okay, how many can we realistically make? Because I think everything that I've been told right now is not, I think. The situation right now at Atlas is they are asking, and Atlas West is asking Japan. They said, okay, what is the maximum we can make? Because right now, when it comes to the CD and when it comes to the art book, those are all going to be made at the same factory for all the world. Like, obviously different versions in terms of languages and stuff, but packaging and pressing are all going to be part of the same factory from everything I've been told. So anything Atlas West wants, or Nintendo Europe, since they're also the publisher, they have to ask Atlas Japan. Also because they're the money, because that's where the money comes from. So they are now in the process of, all pre-orders are on hold, if possible. I'm still thinking that Best Buy is going to go up in the middle of this podcast and people are going to piss their pants. But Atlas West doesn't want any more pre-orders to go live. I don't know why they're using the term sold out. It's making everyone pissed and freaking out. But either way, the whole point of it, though, is Atlas Japan is going to come back hopefully soon. I've heard as soon as next week. Hopefully not later. As soon as next week, they're going to come back and give them a hard number, I think it'd be smart if Atlas West just straight up says that number. Just say, hey guys, we are making... Jesus, I don't know. Like, because, like, people need to realize this. Like, there's not a lot of huge games coming out this year that would interest people like this to kind of steal us away. Like, there's no big RPGs that are exclusive on the Switch that are going to suck up attention like this outside of, like, maybe Pokemon. And guess what? Nintendo can do whatever the fuck they want. Like, even Pokemon doesn't have a collector's edition, really. So, I don't think they realized, A, how well they showed off to their fans last week, built up a ton of hype. B, them as a Switch exclusive is a big deal, even to non-fans. And C, the collector's market, as I mentioned before, has fucking imploded. Like, even if you don't want SMT, people want this collector's edition because guess what? Making a collector's edition now just screams to people, I can sell this for triple or more in a couple of weeks after launch, you know?
Yeah. And my main problem is they just don't communicate. They just don't tell us anything.
Oh my god, yeah.
Why haven't they said why there's no Best Buy or
the tweet,
or like any other store link?
Well, you know what's a funny thing though is you say why not Best Buy? Unless you got press releases, you don't know what stores they were coming to. So I have the press release, and on the press release it said, okay, all of our copies are coming to Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, VGP in the West, and then EB Canada and all the other stuff. But then the whole thing with it is like they never announced that in their like initial reveal at 11. They were just like, here's our collector's edition, which would be great if they just had an endless supply for us to pre-order. I just think they're shitting the bed thinking like, oh my god, we're going to oversell and we can't produce enough.
Yeah, really it's just all communication. They've had this problem before with Persona 5 Strikers, and there's probably been communication errors before that I just don't know of. So they really need to get better with that.
Yeah, I mean, like, as much as I hate to, like, say the Atlas pulling an Atlas thing, this might be their most... This is really bad to them, because guess what? In the grand scheme of things, taking forever to announce Strikers really only fucking annoys the fans who were already going to buy it. Not a big deal. Being really stupid and throwing a bunch of people into a cold 7-Eleven parking lot to watch a P5R trailer that everyone saw 6 hours ago, really stupid, but all those people are going to buy it. Pissing off a bunch of people who are going to jump into this game for the first time because guess what? It's a Switch exclusive, it's a big holiday game, and Nintendo is backing it. Tons of people I know, SMT5 is going to be their first hit into the series, even more than something like Persona. I know friends who have never even touched Persona, but because they are huge fans into Switch, want to jump into this. Having your big pre-order day just be one big fuck you, everything is sold out, is a huge middle finger to everyone of like miscommunicating to your fans. Guess what? We're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. We're gonna buy it anyways and say thank you, Daddy. That was good. Thank you, Daddy. I appreciate that pre-order. But guess what? All those fans who don't give a shit about Atlas, it's just a wow, what a fucking terrible publisher. Why would I keep up with this? Rant over. I'm sorry. I need a drink of water. But yes, in less depressing. Less depressing. Okay, hold on. Don't watch in the chat since the drama might bolster sales. Drama like this will only bolster sales of people hoping to scalp it, because guess what? Every time one of you fucking lovely, beautiful people on Twitter take a screen cap of someone on eBay selling this for $400, it leads to someone wanting to sell it for $400 fucking dollars. If we don't talk about scalping it, guess what? No one's gonna scalp it as much as possible. Like, a majority of this, like, hype and demand is because people want it and there's not enough pre-orders to go around because they just don't know enough how to sell it. If we talk about scalpers, it's going to attract scalpers. Like, it goes back to the whole limited run thing. If you talk about, oh my god, limited run is just for scalpers, guess what? It's just going to be a bunch of scalpers. But there are still tons of people who go and show up for maybe 1 or 2 releases a year. They buy their River City Girls, they buy their Scott Pilgrims, and then they never buy anything else. But then you see people who are like, oh, I bought Shantae 3 years ago on Switch, I'm going to flip it for $50,000 now. Why? Because they know that like people complain about scalping, and guess what? As many people exist who are complaining about scalping, there are still people who are buying it.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with the PS5 or anything that's even remotely collectible. If you look at eBay right now, the Joker amiibo is like, what, $40?
Which is crazy, because, like, they literally made tens of
I'm
thousands.
sorry, what
of
you cut
those.
out there?
Oh, I was saying they made thousands upon thousands of them, and there's nothing stopping Nintendo from ever just making more.
Yeah, no.
Before I cycle anybody else, do you have any final thoughts, whether it be positive, negative, or any questions you want to ask about the whole thing going on?
I'm just confused as to how Atlas doesn't learn from any of their mistakes, or at least recent mistakes. I'm just befuddled.
It's really frustrating because when you talk to people in Atlas West, they understand it. Like, they know more than we ever will how frustrating they are at their own stuff. But it just this, I think, just goes back to that point of this is their worst fuck up I think they've done in really recent histories, because they finally pissed off potential customers. Before, they have only pissed off fans. And pissing us off, it doesn't fucking matter. We're a bunch of hypocrites and we're going to give them our money, whatever. This was their first big chance, because I'm sorry to break it to you guys, them releasing tomorrow's the fucking 2020 Olympics game, yeah, maybe like 5,000 people are going to buy that game. Like, nobody cares about that game. This is a big game for Sega. Actually, sorry, let me just put this out there in general.
True.
This is their only big game that will attract newcomers. And I'm sorry, Lost Judgment. You look amazing. No one who did not play Judgment is jumping into its fucking sequel. I might be wrong, but I'm just saying this sequel to Judgment, a game that is probably, if not the worst, the second worst selling Yakuza-like game in the series, is getting a sequel, is cool for fans, but you are not hearing a bunch of newcomers looking at Lost Judgment the way you are seeing people jump into SMT5 as, oh cool, it doesn't matter, this is just a jumping off point for fans.
I thought Judgment sold 1 million.
Judgment sold 1 million after over 3 years and ports to at least 5 different platforms. I bought that game brand new for $20. It might have sold 1 million, it did not, it is probably not made more than 1 million.
Yeah, my problem with Lost Judgment is that it's on Xbox One, yet the first game isn't. It's only on Series X.
So
Series S and X.
I actually think that might be a typo.
If I only have an Xbox One.
I think that might actually be a typo, just because I've talked to people about that, and they're like, yeah, we have it listed for it, but we don't have a dev build for Lost Judgment. And the weird thing about that is the reason Judgment 1 is never in Xbox One is because that remastered version was using that engine that Japan was doing, because even though it's just called Judgment here, it's called Judgment Remastered in Japan, and it's basically doing a bunch of stuff that it could run on an Xbox One, but they just didn't really want to port it to it. Whereas, like, I'm guessing if an Xbox One version does come out, it's just going to be the PS4 version, just toned down a lot and have really bad graphical sliding options. But even they know, like, no one, for the most part, I know I'm saying no one, like hypothetically, but for the most part, you're not going to find people who are playing Lost Judgment on a OG Xbox One. Like, that's just going to be a very, very small medium, you know?
I got the Xbox One VCR in my basement if you want it.
Hey, I bought that thing for $500, man. I will not be bad-mouthing the Xbox One. It's done some good stuff. All right, well, man, thank you so much for popping on. I'm going to get somebody else in here so you can say goodbye or say your final catchphrase.
All right. See ya.
All right, so next up, again, in no particular order. Oh, you know what? Just because this is a real person I dragged in here, I'm going to make them bump to the top, but next will be Strange Depression. Lavinark, you can unmute yourself just because it's been an extreme sausage fest in here, so please give us some diversity for the love of God.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Okay, I had to completely restart my computer because I was trying to make sure my mic was going to work on Discord, and for some reason it wasn't. And then when I got in here, even though I had headphones on, your voice started coming out of my monitor.
Well, it's working too well, because still you have the best microphone of the night, and I'm very jealous.
Well, thank you.
So yes, what is your thought on the situation? What are your thoughts on the CE, and do you have any kind of questions about where we're at right now?
Situation. I really heckin' hate it. Because for once, Atlas has a, North America side edition I'd be willing to get instead of importing a Japanese edition.
Yeah, suck it, Ami. You're not getting my import dollars this time.
Not today.
Yesterday, though. They got a lot of money from me yesterday, though.
They almost got me, but I was like, no, I can't do this. Dylan would probably cry if I got another body pillow, so let's not do that.
I gotta ask, though, because we have a lot of similar, like, friend circles. Do you know anyone who's gotten it? Because, like, in terms of immediate friends, I think I literally only know, like, one person, or maybe two, who got it up in, like, Canada.
No, like, I don't know anyone that's gotten their claws on it yet. Especially nobody here where I live.
Well, as you know, we live in just the most populated part, and everyone's favorite weeb part of America, the Midwest, is just chock full of us babies.
Oh, yes. Weeb babies and Bible belts and...
You know, actually, because you're a fellow hardcore collector fan, how does... And especially because you're one of, like... You're actually, I would say, more hardcore in the sense of... I'm hardcore... where I will import if I really love something. Like, you're in the sense of, like, no, I'll import Nocturne HD because I know we're not getting anything, even though, like, I can't fathom that. So for you, when you saw this one get announced for it, and it was in that rare case of, oh, it is actually better than Japan, in my opinion, like, were you surprised about that? Like, what tipped it over the scale for you?
I was surprised, yeah. Well, because normally over here, like, out of, like, the 3 regions that usually get special stuff, like, if we're counting even Europe, most of the time we kind of get cucked. At least, it's in my opinion, though, but, like, there's always the standard, hey, here's the album CD, and here's a small little art book. That's the bare minimum I expect us to get, if anything. But, I mean, the t-shirt's cool for Japanese too, but I also have a crap ton of t-shirts. I have a crap ton of bags because I have Ida bags too, but I mean, like, I would be fine with settling for either of those. So, like, if it's just easier to get, you know, the North American version, I would do that.
Ooh, weird question. I don't know if this throws a wrench in your plan. Japan has not announced retailer bonuses. Is there any dumb bullshit Japanese pre-order bonus they could announce that would tempt you?
I don't know. Like, at this point, with all the stuff that I've collected, it would have to be something kind of not the norm. Like how the Nocturne HD one had the little night light thing. Unless it's something that's I know is gonna be, like, kind of hard to get. Like, I'm still kind of crying over the fact I never imported the lottery prize figure of the Demi-Fiend that lit up.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Because I imported the little chibi, like, Persona 3 lottery figures and stuff like that. So...
Are you aware of the recently announced Atlas 30th anniversary Ida bag?
What? No? Is it like a Super Groupies thing?
I don't know if it's being sold outside of the Atlas, like, fan shop, but it's also, I think it's 35th anniversary, so please make me feel bad. But basically, they made a Atlas bag, and for the Ida the Ida charms and stuff, it is just little mini box arts that you are like keychain form. So it's like the Japanese box art of Catherine or Trauma Center or Devil Survivor or like Persona 3 and 4. It's really, really fucking cute.
Okay, gotcha, yeah. Some series kind of do things like that. Like some of the music like oriented ones, they start selling keychains of like this like solo album tracks. Like the covers.
I will say though, I was kind of amazed at how optimistic people were going into today about the Western one. I kept seeing this pop up a lot of people wanting and expecting plushes, and I'm like, no offense to Atlas West, who have done plushes before, like we have Koromaru, we have the sheep from Catherine, we have Morgana. Those, like this is a safe spot, all 200 plus of you all listening to this live. We can all agree those are like bad plushes, right? Like they're not great, but they're not like they're not like good plushes. Like they're not great.
Directly Atlas, yes, but the Sanshi Koromaru, it's cute.
That's true. I'm talking specifically collector's edition plushies, the ones that look like I should have won them in a Crane game, not paid over $100 for them.
Yeah, the PQ2 Koro is a little jank looking in comparison.
Like specifically, if you put up the Koromaru from Q2, it's collector's edition with the one that came with the Persona 3 movie 2, like pre-order bonus, like that, like it's just embarrassing. But obviously,
That
like
big chunky boy.
yeah, he's like get a big old chunky life-size Koromaru, or get like his little derpy cousin who maybe like got stepped on as a baby. I don't know.
Hey, don't talk to him or his sons ever again.
There's definitely, man. Let me tell you, there is some for all the cute like plush merch out there. It does not take much for it to look bad sometimes. But yeah, so like people were expecting plushes. There was another like crazy one I saw someone was thinking about. Like I saw someone like their dream for like what was in this collector's edition was, and like I would love this, and I'm sure this will happen eventually, but it definitely not happening like right away. Was a SMT5 Protag body pillow where it's Protag school outfit on one side and Nahabino on the other. And I'm like, that'd be great, but I bet you Atlas Japan does not want us to be that horny publicly. Like, I think they're gonna wait till the game's out, and then they're going to merch the fuck out of Protag. Because what's really funny is, like, I showed this to Mary, and like when I showed my wife the protagonist, and I showed her Sophia next. Like, Sophia's the big boobed fusion lady who you do all the summonings with. She was like, oh, she'll be the popular one, because obviously we're coming off of Resident Evil 8, big mommy milkers and stuff. Like, she literally has a giant summoning fusion titty statue of herself, but all we're talking about is fucking femboy Protag, because of his fucking hair. And also the design is amazing, but like it's just so funny of like you can never know what's going to be that like marketable thing for it, you know? And like if you told me 2 weeks ago, are people going to be wanting a protagonist body pillow for a collector's edition unironically, I would say no fucking way.
I mean, honestly, if Atlas did something like that, I'd give them some extra credit, because honestly, like, the body pillow I was whining about last night, I wasn't expecting to be official, but it is. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they're finally starting to get the message.
Chat, if you can help me out with this, because I don't think this has happened, there is no actual official Lady D merch for Resident Evil 8. Like, the only thing I've seen is there's that advertisement, because I know they want to do a figure, but I don't think they've actually announced one yet. Because whoever's the first company to make Lady D official merch that's even remotely life-size, like, they're all sold out. Like, that's just going to be charge $1 million forced, like, just give first 4 figures like her like half-size bust and make it like $2,000 and it'll sell out in a day. Now, this was another thing I actually want to ask you before we kind of like filter out, though. This was weird because we're talking about more kind of just collector stuff in general. It's not too late for this to happen. Now that today has happened, if Nintendo does announce a Shin Megami Tensei 5 Collector's Edition Switch, does this make you fucking horrified about how much of a bloodbath that will be?
Oh, well, I do. Well, how bad was the PQ limited 3DS? Because I didn't
that
really
was
remember
not bad.
having
That was a GameStop exclusive. That was definitely, if you went in and pre-ordered it within like a week, I think it was fine. But it was definitely like, it's not rare. I'm sure it's more rare now, but that's such a weirder thing to kind of compare, just because I think because of the way we're in now, all systems are fucking hard to find. If people are overcharging for a used Xbox One right now, a limited edition Switch, like, I can see immediately just becoming like you see it on eBay for like $600, you know?
That's true. I mean, me and Dylan actually just sold our PS3 that's like blue color for like 70, so I'd say that's higher than the usual. But you know, honestly, I don't know if they would actually, like, I'm pretty sure Japan would have a limited edition, but I don't know if they'd go so far to bring it over here.
I would say if they do make it, I would almost want them to keep it exclusive to Japan, because then I feel like when things are import, like, that's just enough of a hurdle to kind of deter scalpers, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. There's also the option of just having a skin cover, you know? No,
we don't do covers here. I find that very yucky. Stickers I find very yucky.
And it feels nice, okay? It's not sticker, it's a hard silicone case. Thank you.
I get it. I'm just like an old, like, stick in the mud of, like, I like my stuff to either be printed on or not, just because in my brain, even if it doesn't feel cheap, I just feel like it's cheap in the brain. Of like, because there are lots of people out there who like, even for the SMT4 3DS that only came out in Japan, there's a lot of like sticker skins for that because people didn't want to import it. But like, you can just kind of tell the difference, especially for like a system like a handheld where you're touching it a lot more. The last thing I'll ask with that, if they did make a limited edition Switch, would you prefer limited edition Switch Lite or Switch normal?
Well, I already have a normal. I guess I would pick a Lite just so like it's, you know, I feel like it's redundant to have two of the exact same Switch. I mean, if the rumors of like an upgraded Switch happened, I'd prefer it to be on that.
Might I remind you, PQ literally launched 3 months before the new 3DS XL. So that is not stopping them to do shit, and they've already said they are not doing the Switch Pro this year.
Oof.
Because that would be the most Nintendo-ass thing fucking possible. Here's the Shin Megami Tensei 5 Nintendo Switch. 3 months later, here's the Switch Pro Breath of the Wild 2 edition. Fuck off, you're gonna buy both, dum-dums.
You would be in that.
Oh yeah, I'd be in that hard. But I mean, they got me good with the new 3DS out of the back, because remember, they made that, at launch there was the Monster Hunter 4 edition or the Majora's Mask edition. So I was like, oh, I've got to buy the Majora's Mask edition.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that one was a bloodbath, I remember.
Oh my god, yeah, actually, so this would be a funny thing, though, before I actually let you go. Would you say, though, like, today's been bad. This is not like record-setting collectors bad. Like, I've seen collecting days for stuff going live go way worse than this. I think a lot of this is just a lot of Atlus fans who aren't used to stuff selling out this fast, experiencing it either for the first time or for the first time in a long time. Because a lot of Atlus shit just isn't rare. Like, especially in the West. If it's Atlus West, you gotta really try for it to be expensive. And by really try, I mean you have to wait 9 years and then all the 3DS games cost $100.
True, that's true. I cannot think of a like issue of an SMT game or like spin-off series where I had issues trying to get a hold of it. Even after like, you know, it released.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I guess aside from Digital Devil Saga, it's just not locally here. But I could just order that if I wanted to.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and letting me bother you for so long. Do you want to plug your new Twitch stream Adventure Life?
Oh yeah, sure. Since like the panorama thing is still a thing, and I don't really do cosplaying that much, I'm trying to get through my game backlog. So I do VTubing stuff on Twitch TV at Lavi Alrone. That's LAVIALRAUNE, and that is also the same tag that I use for my Twitter.
All right, cool. Also, I like that you started with like Depression Quest, the game, as your first streaming game officially. So good job. That was a good pick.
Oh yeah, I am. So I played Nier Automata, and I 100%ed it. It was a great ride. Definitely play it. If you haven't played it, what the hell are you doing with your life? You're stuck inside. Might as well play it, right? But I didn't play any of the other games off of the Nier series. So I'm going into that, like, my first playthrough, and I feel so dumb, because I could not read the map very well.
Literally, my copy is, I think, still shrink-wrapped next to me for Replicant. It just came out... It came out, like, right next to something, and I've just been like, oh, I should play this more instead. Like, every day I come home, and Mary's like, what is it, the fucking Wind Waker event in Genshin? She's like, there's, like, 3 days left! You haven't done it at all! And I'm like, but I gotta play Ratchet and Clank! I paid $70 for this! I've gotta play it!
Hey, you're playing Genshin. Give me your ID later, then.
I'm playing Genshin. As I just tell you, I'm still playing Ratchet and Clank more than I'm playing Genshin. I'm at the point where I had friends, when I finally unlocked co-op, I then had to, like, tell people to get out of my world because I was like, no, this is too overwhelming. I want to I want to explore things naturally.
That's alright. I mean, usually I only pop in if people need help. So.
Yes.
And I'm not playing all the time either. I literally just popped in today to just do dailies. I was like, I should really finish up the event. There's 6 days left. I can do it next weekend.
Okay. Alright, well, thank you again for popping on. Our next person... I said, and I won't forget, Strange Depression. Give me some Strange Depressed thoughts on today's depressing Redux event.
I can't really be depressed because I wouldn't have had money to get it today. Um,
That's the
so,
realistic answer. I've not been hearing that enough. Like where were all the poor people today? Be like, whoo, thank God these sold out. Now I have no excuse to have not gotten it.
well, no, like if Amazon opens up on Thursday, woo for me because that's when I get paid.
Okay, so then for you,
Like,
thoughts then on the collector's edition or the steelbook pre-order bonus as a whole, and then do you have any kind of like questions about what's going on?
in my opinion, this is the best collector's edition I think Atlas has put out.
Oh yeah.
So that's not like a high bar in my opinion.
No.
Like the best one is easily Vanilla Persona 5. But even then, they had a sampler Ost and Morgana Plus they provided.
That's interesting. You would say the P5 one. That'd be an interesting thing to kind of like poll the community for it. So like whether it be Discord folks or people in the live chat, when I say top tier Atlas West, not Japan, Atlas West collector's stuff, what comes to mind? Like P5 I think is an easy one for a lot of people, but like weirdly enough, I go back to Golden. I think Golden was great just because of how much I used that Vita case. That Vita case was
if I
awesome.
were to say my favorite collector's edition I've got from Atlas, it'd have to be Persona Q. Like I love the collector's box. It has that finish on it.
That 3DS
That's,
case
really
was
nice
so nice too, like how colorful it was with all the cast.
Yeah, and the art book was decent. It came with some concept art
and the
stuff.
tarot cards. The
a...
tarot card set was a fun pre-order bonus. Like you got half the set
and
there,
then,
and the other half with Ultimax.
And then the soundtrack that came up for Persona Q, while it wasn't the full soundtrack, it was rather mixes of songs that you could only hear in that soundtrack, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a nice era of like when they were still giving us like the 3 or 4 like sampler stuff. It was nice when they were like, "Hey, here are arrangements though." Like Danganronpa's doing that with their big collector's edition of like I think it'd be great to give the entire Danganronpa series OST, but God knows Spike Chunsoft is too fucking cheap for that. But the fact that they're like, "Hey, here's 10 exclusive remixes." Like that's better than saying, "Hey, here's a bunch of MP4s we ripped off YouTube."
Yeah, and that's kind of my problem with modern Atlas things is they have the dancing quote-unquote collector's edition where it's just an art book where they just ripped images off of the website.
I will never forget when I asked people at Atlas who worked on that collector's edition. I was like, "Are you guys proud of this? Like, is there someone there who's like, ooh, this this was my Arc de Triomphe, the fucking Endless Night collector's edition thing," and that's universally agreed upon at Atlas West. That's no, that's our worst CE we've ever done, and it's hands down, people just forget about it. That's how bad it is.
I always thought we got inferior collector's editions to Atlas Japan. I would say SB5 is the first time where I actually say we got a better one. We didn't even get one for Scramble, and I don't even think the Scramble one that Japan got was very good anyways.
No,
So,
yeah, that was definitely one of the closer we got to it. I was like, the CD's cool, but it's not an extra $100 cool. I was very fine just having the steelbook.
I think it was just the CD wasn't a CD; it was a Blu-ray, where it's behind the scenes of the opening. I think.
Yeah, and that's that's one of the things we got all as a little
I know that was the friggin' bonus content. That was our pre-order bonus, was what Japan got in their collector's edition, but free.
I would love to meet Japanese Atlas fans who get jealous of Western Atlas fans. I feel like that's there's probably 3 people out there in the world, but they're like, "Oh man, I really wanted that Catherine pizza box. Damn it, I didn't get it."
Oh yeah, Catherine Fullbody had a pretty decent collector's edition. Nobody talks about that.
That one's okay. It was just cheap enough because it was only $20 more. It was okay. It had a nice box gimmick. I liked that it was the square. My issue with it was it was cool. The art book was hardcover compared to Japan being a soft cover. But then they censored the art book because then they took out all of the art of Ren that made her look ooh, what's my gender? I don't know. Just because they wanted to avoid that maybe controversy, which I always thought was so dumb of why give us the art book and then take out art that's literally in the Japanese one?
I don't know. Also, kind of I don't think people should get mad at how Atlas is handling SMT5. You brought up Nintendo screwed up royally with Metroid Dread. Nintendo's 50 times the size of Atlas, so and also I'm pretty sure you can still get the Catherine Full Body C from GameStop. I think.
Oh my god, yeah. Also,
last I checked.
I will say this one. For all the people out there who were like, oh, I wanted an amiibo for SMT5, I hope today taught you your lesson. No, you didn't. No, you did not want an amiibo. If you thought that collector's edition was bad, those fucking mason jars would have been easier to get than the amiibos.
Yeah. And, like, as people have noted, like, I don't think a whole lot of scalpers managed to get this game, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really only had that one listing. So either scalpers just didn't care, or, which I think is pretty likely, or just no one was ready for this morning.
I will say, if the situation stays bad even after they put more SMT5 collector's editions out there, and I know this will not stop anyone from doing this because PR does not care what I ever do. Jesus God Almighty, Atlas, please do not ship collector's editions to influencers because that will make us all want to burn their house down as soon as they get their copies.
Oh yes, we're gonna have the friggin' GTA 5 people who, rob PS5s out of delivery trucks show up.
Oh my God. All right, man. Well, thank
have
you.
You seen those videos?
Oh yeah. Like that whole thing was a fucking disaster. But I mean, like, and then like to think like that was like 8 years ago, and I can still see it happening today is truly horrifying. Well, thank you so much though for popping in, man. Do you have any other last things you want to say before we switch off to our next guest?
I'm really looking forward to this game. Like, it went from like a game where I kind of didn't think it was coming out this year to like being my most anticipated game of the year, which, given that like this is a year where we're getting like stuff like No More Heroes 3 and Disgaea 6 and all these like series I'm a huge fan of, like SMT5 is like one that's like blown me out of the water the most. So.
Yeah, though, shout out to Nintendo, man. They're making this a good year for RPGs on Switch. I know people are not excited that Disgaea 6 is exclusive to Switch in the West, but like that PS4 version will come out in like 6 months. So like don't be that sad.
Like, I just love that, like, when it all, like, we had the website leak, you were like, unless Nintendo, like, has, like, this trailer just showing up a ton of gameplay, and they like, show it off for 30 minutes and all this stuff. You're like, I don't think it's coming out this year, and then they ended up doing all that.
Yeah, they literally did
funny.
Everything I said they'd have to do to prove that this game's coming out, and that's what made me so happy about this. It's like that, like they did everything right, and I just really hope we can get over this week and make pre-orders just be a fucking normal thing, because I want this game to be the best it can be critically and commercially. So it's like, if we can get this out of the way, I think this game is just totally like queued up for success in every like way out there, and I just want that to happen. When I made that video like a couple days ago talking about the game's main development being done, it has made me so happy seeing everyone in the comments being like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for this! I'm doing this and blah blah blah." Like, so many people are just genuinely excited, whether you be longtime fans, first time fans, or just people who like RPGs and own a Switch. Which I'm amazed how many of those are out there.
So actually, you reminded me of something, because I actually wanted to ask you this. How do you feel that we haven't heard any of the dub yet? Like, one of the things I thought they were holding off the trailer for that Japan got was like, maybe we'll get like a dub version, but no, it's just, subtitled.
So voice acting is, from everything I've heard, is pretty far along. It's not done unless I'm super out of the loop. It's been worked on for a while, but it's definitely been a lot more spaced out. It wasn't like Nocturne where they got it done super early. I would expect it to be done pretty quickly, though. I think we're going to hear about it. I think TGS timeframe would be good, like not at TGS, just because Nintendo doesn't like TGS, but we will hear it sooner than later. Because you got to remember, we're 5 months out from this game. We're less than 5 months out from this game being out. It's really funny because I'm at this point now. I know people who are in it, like confirmed to be in it, and I have this weird funny thing of like, should I like get them on the show, and then like, because I'm not gonna do a gotcha thing or be like, oh, you're in SMT5, talk us about it before you can. But it is just really funny of like, now that I know people who are in it, it would be weird for me to try and get them on, because then it's like, oh well, I can't talk to you about like your most exciting fucking thing,
Also, so one of the things you brought up, Nocturne, while it was voice acted, a lot of the boss fights and stuff weren't, which I thought was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm streaming SMP4 with friends when I can, when I'm not working, because we're all excited, for 5. And most of the bosses in that game are voiced, so you think we'll see that with 5?
I at least had this cleared up for me, which I really appreciated. I talked to them and I said one of my biggest complaints with this, and I hope this isn't going to be a thing with 5, is the voice acting. And they said we can't comment on how much there is in terms of gameplay of like what's voice, what's not. But they have said there's everything Japan is doing, like in terms of voice acting, we are doing. Like we're not skimping on any of that, which makes me feel good. Like I'm glad, because like, I think it'd be very easy, especially in a situation where it might have to feel rushed, where that's the case. And everything we've seen from the Japanese footage is like, when you're in the open world segment, there's no voice acting. That's fine. I don't need that to be voice acted. But for everything we've seen story-wise, it's very cinematic, very voice, like stuff like that. I appreciate that. It doesn't feel like it cheaped out yet, but again, we've only seen very, very early level stuff for it, so I'm optimistic, but I don't think it's going to feel as cheap as Nocturne did, thank God. Alright, man. Well, thank you again. I'm going to call up our next guest, and when I say call up our next guest, I literally mean call, because this is just how the world works now, I guess. Unless they're on Discord. They could actually be on Discord. Let me check how nice I want to be. No, I'm just going to do a real-ass phone call. So, everyone pray the phone gods are kind to us right now. So, hold on. I'm going to call them in one ear before I do speaker and terrify the microphone. It's ringing. We're having a very long pregnant pause. Thank you, everybody. Hello, Waffles. Can I put you on speakerphone? Okay. No pressure. You have like 200 people listening to you on YouTube, so you can say hello, Waffles.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Would it be like absolutely terrifying if they then said hi back? Like they also were all microphoned up? So, we're talking about today. It's been a fun day. Everyone's happy. We all have 9,000 copies pre-ordered. They're all on eBay. We're all going to make a lot of money soon. So,
I sure do.
I know you probably don't want to just kind of jump into the, like, because the last thing I want this podcast to feel like is just us, like, beating a dead horse. So I kind of wanted to talk to you about what we messaged each other a little bit earlier. Like, as a big art fan, and just, like, someone who doesn't get a lot of collector's editions, like, for you, like, when's the last time you went out of your way to try and obtain a CE?
Oh my god. It's been a while.
Final Fantasy IX.
Yes. No. Oh my god. That's a really good question, actually. It's probably been a few years.
Was it P5? If it's P5, that would be very funny.
God, it might have been.
Okay.
Actually.
So, for you, because I remember when we looked at the Japanese CE, we were all pretty impressed with this, but now that this has been announced, I've pretty much been like, okay, Japanese CE, you're trash to me, get your t-shirt out of here. What's your kind of breakdown been? Because I'm curious for you, especially someone who is like, you're the opposite of me, I feel like, in terms of financial spending. Like, I'm very poorly planned in terms of, like, if I want it, I'm going to find a way to get it. Like, for you, do you feel like the Steelbook, 2-disc soundtrack, bag, and art book is fair for 120 in terms of your opinion?
Not gonna lie, I had a little bit of sticker shock, but...
Okay, yeah, you're like the first one to say that, so that's why I wanted to see if there was someone out there who would be that way.
Yeah, but then when I broke it down, I'm like, well, you know, I mean, straight up just getting, like, a digital pre-order of a game with, like, a few digital bonuses nowadays is, like, what, $60, $70 sometimes?
Yeah, pre-tax.
So if I think about it in those terms, like, then it seems a lot more reasonable.
Plus, think of how many things that are not your Switch you can steal. Like, think of how many fruit snacks are going to fit in that fanny pack. You're going to fit so many fruit snacks in there.
Fruit gummies.
So, for you, is there like a big one that stands out? Whether it be art book, steelbook, CE, CD, not CE.
The soundtrack is a really big one.
I was talking about this in chat.
Art books are always big.
How crazy is it? This is the first OST a collector's edition has had in Japan that matches the West since Dancing All Night. That came out.
Really?
Yeah, and that was 2014. So it's been 7 years since we've had a not shitty sampler track.
Wow.
For the art book, is there stuff you're kind of hoping to see? Because, like, I think I feel like the older I get, I love art books more, but I also get picky with them. Like, I don't want just, like, I shit out a couple of pieces of concept art. Like, I would really love if this was, like, it would be, like, a really great idea. It's 2 demons per page or so, or maybe, like, 2 or 3, and just put demon 3D render, concept art image, and then have a note from Doi. Have Doi talk about his, like, thought about each demon, even if he didn't design it, or if it's a redesign. Like, especially the redesigned ones and the new demons. Like, I want him to talk about Mermaid. I want him to talk about Angel. I want to talk about, hey, why are we changing this design? No, I'm not sick of BDSM. I just want to put a creepy angel mask on him. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool. I always like to see unused concepts, or, the evolution of the concept. That's always really cool.
Oh man, what are the likelihoods? This will be like my last question before I kidnap you any longer, because this is somehow been 5 minutes on the phone. I cannot believe it. What are the chances, and I would love to know what chat thinks as well, what are the chances that beta or concept design Nahabino looked cooler? Because, like, how many times have we looked at concept designs for a character? Like, look at Sho with his fucking military jacket. We're like, oh, come on, why didn't we get the fucking cool military jacket? Like, are we gonna fucking, like, see Nahabino with, like, a 13-inch cock ring or something and go, oh, come on, we needed the cock ring, come on!
Damn, we could have had it all.
It's like, how did they fuse? Originally, instead of holding hands like a couple of losers, it was they had to, like, get matching I'm just breaking right now. They had to get matching genital piercings, and then it was like the Patora in Dragon Ball, and then so when they fuse down there, and then they swoosh into each other.
He gave him a chaste kiss on the forehead, Spencer.
So basically he has to go up to him and give him a little kiss on the forehead, and then he whispers into him, "The safety word is mangoes."
Oh my god!
And the only way to unfuse is to either die or use mangoes, and then otherwise they're just together. Alright, well, Waffles, thank you so much. Oh, Prince Albert, thank you, Vivi, in the chat. I was trying to think of the name for, like, when you have yourself pierced out there. It's Prince Albert, so that we're now officially cursed. If I want to think what got us under 200 viewers, it was me talking about penis Patora rings, so thank you, Waffles.
You're welcome. I love to serve.
I don't know if you've been paying attention to the live chat, but I do want to say, hope is not lost. I'm hearing right now that more pre-orders are going to go live next week. We're just waiting for the okay from Atlas Japan, so do not give up hope.
Oh my god, okay. I guess I'll need to, like, set alarms this time and stuff.
So you can go back to Bitcoin mining to save up for a Switch, because I think that's what you were doing before.
Oh, yeah. I got all that. That's me buying up all the GPU.
I would love it if just, like, you and your fucking Linux laptop are just mining all the Bitcoin in the world just to try and afford a Nintendo Switch. Alright, man. Well, thank you so much for letting me bother you so much. Have a good rest of your night.
Yep, you too.
Alright, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Whew. Alright, everybody. That was 7 minutes of your life you're never getting back, and we lost, I think, like 20 people in the live chat, so thank you all so much for putting up with this so far. Next person on the Discord, which if you want to jump into this, I promise eventually you'll maybe get a voice your opinion. I'm going to let in, first up, Immortal Slasher, and next Mirth, just so people don't give up hope. Immortal, if you want to hop in and give us your hottest of hot takes if you're still there. What are your thoughts on today, the situation, the CE, and do you have any questions?
Well, for starters, I apologize if I am the shittiest quality of the night. In terms of my thoughts, so I'm probably the biggest casual Atlas fan here. I saw the collector's edition. I was like, oh, this looks kind of nice. I might get it. I've never actually bought a collector's edition before. The most I've done recently is I got the digital deluxe edition for Strikers because I wanted the OST in some shape or form, even if it is just a stupid little app on my PS4. I can play the I can listen to the soundtrack at my own leisure.
I understand that though. It is nice to have the little like digital soundtrack though. I definitely get that.
Mm-hmm. And also the art book is nice. I was going to ask my friend who works at GameStop whether or not that we got the or that he got the pre-order available at his store, but he hasn't responded on Snapchat, so that's not happening anytime soon.
By the way, we have Snack You Go trying to refute your claims. Do you know what this is about?
Oh, it's that I think he thinks his quality's shittier than
mine. Okay. please, everyone, please don't try and win shittiest mic quality of the night. I promise this is not a battle you all want to win.
Also, just saying, if we were gonna get a body pillow of anything SMT related, I think it should be Pixie. Just saying.
Ooh, now would you want life-size Pixie, or do you want like make it big enough for me to like actually hold? Because I feel like if you did Pixie body pillow, it'd have to be like a throw pillow, like a little like tiny one, like you just like hold on your lap.
Yeah, no, I actually want I want to have taller. It needs to be as tall as Futaba.
At least you didn't say I want the underage high school girl pillow. I mean, the tiny pixie body probably doesn't make it any better, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Do you have any final words before I get our next person on here, man?
Port UDG to Switch, please, and thank you.
Oh, thank you. The Ultra Despair Girls will not be forgotten, even though the anniversary you're definitely forgot it. Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. All right, so Mirth, is your time to shine. Let us know all the things we've had wrong, said, or done tonight, or your thoughts on the situation at hand. Also, feel free to introduce yourself if you want.
Oh, I'd like to think my microphone isn't too bad.
No, I'd say you're like second or third quality right now. You're like bronze medal, if not silver, in terms of quality right now.
Okay, good. It's passable. I'm surprised they didn't announce a digital deluxe of some kind.
Oh,
you
said the Pee Wee Herman Freak Out Couch Mouth Movement Award. Okay, I was wondering when someone was going to bring up digital. Okay, so I want you to tell me why you were surprised about this, and like, were you wanting something digital, or are you like happy glad there was nothing digital?
I'm a fan of digital deluxe editions because I'm a physical person.
Good. The correct
saves
answer.
Memory and it looks good on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It's just with Nocturne and Strikers, they went all in with their look at our digital deluxes. You can get it 4 days early. We'll add all this extra stuff. Extra stuff meaning like 2 SOT songs. So I was like, they don't want to show off all the DLC that they inevitably have planned for this game. I know they have it.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting thing. I think what's been so funny about this, and obviously DLC is still up in the air, we don't know about it one way or the other, but I haven't really said this too publicly today, but I had it confirmed. I reached out to somebody at Atlas, and I said, should we expect a digital deluxe edition to get announced soon? And they're like, no, and if we do, it's not going to be early again. Like, they're not going to sell the game a couple days early like they have with Nocturne.
Oh, thank God.
They're not going to do the early thing with Nocturne, Lost Judgment, and Strikers. And it's not because, those didn't sell well. Those have all sold extremely well. They have been making a lot of money by people double dipping of let's go digital deluxe edition and collector's edition or standard edition.
No.
It's the worst case scenario because think about it. You've got us fans, and most people are going to complain about it, but not a lot are going to, like, the amount of people I tell are like, I can't wait. I got to do it. And like I get it for some cases, but like I just can't think of a game where I would say like, oh my god, I love it so much I have to like double dip, buy it at launch to play it as early as possible digitally and have my physical. Like, I've just never been that enthused by something. In Strikers, if there was ever going to be a game that made me do it, it would have been Strikers, but even then I didn't do that.
Just cruel with Strikers. Just downright cruel.
Especially after
Way to
making
get-
people wait for so long. Yeah, the digital deluxe was definitely like a kick in the nads. So the funny
Ugh.
thing though about why SMT5 is not getting this is it's kind of like a two-part answer. So number one, Nintendo just straight up said no, we're not doing that. And the big thing to remember that people aren't talking about. Yeah, for once we can thank Nintendo for doing the consumer-friendly option. But no, what's so funny about it is Nintendo, since they are the publisher in Europe and not Atlus, they are publishing in Australia, all the PAL regions, Europe, Germany, blah, 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 all that stuff. They said, hey, we don't do this. And we want this to be as much... Like, they want this launch to be the smoothest simultaneous... Like, they want this to feel like a first-party Nintendo title, is what I've been told. Nintendo really wants SMT5 to have, like, as big of a push, if not bigger, than something like Dragon Quest XI did. Because, like, if you remember, like, they pushed that really hard, and that wasn't even a new game. So for something like this that's a brand new title, imagine how just easily pissed off all of us fans would be, like, at just, oh, hey, guys, collector's editions also sold out, but if you want to pay us, like, $60 to, like, $80 to $90, you can play SMT5 5 days early. It's like, no, you're like, we will come and burn down your offices metaphorically. Like, it would just be such a yucky thing.
Seems like they're trying to basically make a Xenoblade situation out of this, really hyping it up. It's first party, you can only play it on Switch, everyone gets it, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, I really hope so, and from everything we keep seeing, obviously collector's edition stuff aside for it, I've never seen so many people just so excited to kind of jump into something. I will say though, this is its own topic, and I really want to get some more people from general games media in here. I still find it laughable anytime I hear anyone, whether it be YouTube people on games sites, like written video, stuff like that. So much of the general press does not give a shit about this game, and it is so funny. Like, a lot of the reactions I saw from people online when, like, SMT5 debuted, if you weren't already following it or a fan of it, you're like, eh. Like, they looked at the SMT5 trailer the way people looked at, like, the Monkey Ball trailer. Like, and I don't say that as any disrespect to Monkey Ball. Monkey Ball is a cool announcement if you're a Monkey Ball fan. That's not going to get new people in. But, like, they just kind of looked at it like, oh, it's another one of these.
And I've seen a lot of reactions to that direct. The majority just seems to at least recognize that it's SMT5 and say, this looks interesting. And a few people are really excited, but most people seem to know what it is at least.
I just don't, like, do you think it's because general games media, are they, like, not associating it as an exclusive? Because what I thought was so funny is I was listening, and not to call them out, but I was listening to, what was it, Sacred Symbols, the podcast Colin, Chris Reagan, and Dustin Furman, who we had on the show a couple weeks back ago, are on, and they included SMT5 as a part of their rundown a couple weeks ago, because they were like, oh yeah, it's coming to PlayStation and Switch or whatever. Like, we are less than...
and Switch!
Like, we are less than 5 months out, and people don't know this is a Switch exclusive? Like, this is more mind-boggling than someone thinking...
Press conference.
Yeah, it's like... That worries me. Like, that people are, like, getting confused on stuff like this. Of, like, I even, like... I also, like, another mind-boggling reaction I saw of, like, someone saw the gameplay reveal of SMT5 and they were like, I wasn't feeling Nocturne, so I probably won't like this. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're gonna judge the 18-year-old game on if you like this one? Like, and I get it, it just came out a month ago. If you didn't like it, there are some things to possibly be there, but it's just like, I can't look at Nocturne gameplay next to 5 and go, yep, these are the same. Let's go.
Nothing's changed, apparently.
No, but...
It's just like the person on Twitter who said it looks like a PS2 game. It looks the exact same, clearly.
I somehow missed that. I still have never seen that person's tweet. I love the idea of it, though. That sounds absolutely hilarious to me.
Their PS2. Sounds like it can render very high quality games.
If I was defending Monarch for not looking like a PS3 game, like, if I heard someone legitimately say SMT5 looked like a PS2 game, I would probably like have a meltdown. Like I would legitimately not know how to compute. Oh my god.
Just on Twitter.
Epoch brings up a great point. I'm legitimately terrified for Game Informer's coverage of this, because they have some exclusive, and I'm like, Game Informer, I have no trust in you just because I know nobody who works there anymore. I'm expecting either super boilerplate. Hold on, was the person who tweeted this literally also verified? Like, boy, that doesn't help. That doesn't help the blue checkmark dumb thing for it. I gotta say, I have so many friends I know who are in games media. For people who follow people in games media or just in games media in general, when you see people begging to be verified on Twitter, is that like a thing you get behind? Like, why do you want to be verified outside of, oh, that's neat? Like, I find the whole, oh my god, I need to tweet at Twitter about, I'm so mad I'm not verified, like, you're ruining my life. Like, your listeners don't care for you more if you're verified, you know?
If anything, I think the verification just adds a layer of, if you mess up, it's even bigger mess up. Like,
yeah,
you're
like no one's
shitting
on me for being a not blue check mark. Like, the amount of times I see people like shitting on, oh, it's another blue check mark person or whatever. Like, no one's clowning on like unverified users on Twitter, because 90% of us are all not verified.
I don't even know their standards for verification.
Apparently they're very, very strict, but I just think it's so funny because, like, I have so many friends I see literally begging people publicly to, like, get Twitter to verify them. Like, they're going to get, like either the world's largest e-penis or just be the most popular person in the world. Like, and these are, like, people I know who have, like, less than 10,000 followers. Like, dude, what are you doing on Twitter? Like, I had someone try to explain to me, like, oh, it's part of my job. Like, I need to be verified. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, no one's, like, being like, bro, what's your source? Oh, you're verified? Never mind. It doesn't matter. Like, people will be just, like, I feel like it goes back to, like, what you said. People will almost be meaner to you if you're verified than if you're not verified. Well, Mer, thank you so much for letting me yell at you. Do you have any other final things or statements or questions you want to get out here before I switch out for someone else?
Yes. When they inevitably have Persona costumes for this game, I can't wait to see Twitter melt.
You know what would be actually, like, the funniest? What if by some advertising miracle, Atlas teams up, they mend their relationship because they do not like each other right now. Fudiyu and Atlas come together, and they say, okay, guys, we're all three having crossover DLC between Caligula 2, Monarch, and SMT5. If you buy all three, we're coming together.
Only $200.
That's true, yeah. Only $200, and it's only on Switch DLC, which I do not plan on playing Monarch or Caligula on any of those versions. But yes, you're right. When costume DLC happens, that will be a very, very funny day. But I will say, I believe in the SMT5 team to at least make costumes a part of the game and not DLC only like P5. Because SMT4 and Apocalypse have great costumes that are not DLC and are very, very fun.
To be fair, that long blue hair in the Joker outfit would be priceless. That's too much power.
I'm just dying to see if we get retailer-specific DLC. If I want Best Buy Nahabino very badly. With that blue hair in Best Buy, if there is no pre-order bonus, I will be absolutely dumbstruck. Alright, Mer, thank you so much once again. Next up, I'm going to bring on Udon, or You Don't Have To. Probably that one makes more sense. And then next I will do Schmitty. So You Don't Have To, if you are alive, please unmute yourself and let us know your thoughts on today's events.
And who's ready for all those wacky pre-order bonuses? It's going to be super cool. All two people are going to get it. It's going to be great.
You're going to get you're going to get your Switch exclusive Labo DLC just for SMT5.
Yeah. You were talking about like exclusives, like you were hoping for store exclusives. I feel like they would do like funny crossbars, like Best Buy. Don't you want the super cool, super radical Sonic the Hedgehog like outfit? It'd be really
Oh
radical.
no, man! Anytime I feel like anytime Sega crosses over with Atlas, it's just cringe. It like feels like you're trying to be cool.
Like what do you mean?
Like the Sonic Forces thing, like that meme. I feel like any time, like Sonic coming in DX2 is funny until I think about the fact that like that's just not going to be fun.
I remember a friend of mine actually. You know, they said Dante's in a Nocturne. Let's put Sonic in 5, and he's gonna be like, "You come to me, I'll show you who's boss. I'm gonna win." He's gonna beat up the protagonist.
See, now that I've said this, unfortunately, then watch the guest character in SMT5 is just Sonic Boom Sonic.
Yeah, and he's gonna be in every time he attacks, he's gonna go bounce pad, ring.
Oh Jesus!
Tornado. And then but like no, I wasn't gonna pre-order the game. I gotta save up money for stuff for school.
You're an adult. I appreciate it's been almost an hour and a half. We got one adult to come join us live. Thank you.
But you know, I mean, I'll probably just get it standard. You know.
That's
you
know what?
Came out on Switch.
This brings up a good point.
I got it.
Do you think? I think this is probably one of their best standard pre-order bonuses in at least like a decade. Like I'm so used to either we get nothing for standard editions, a shitty DLC code. Like actually just making this Steelbook for Switch, I think is great. Like obviously SP5 did that, but I think because Switch is not really like a precedent, this sets like a good standard.
I remember when I did get Q2 standard, and I got like the buttons or whatever that was supposed to like come in, like the bonus edition. I don't know if that was an accident or not.
No, yeah, that was part of the standard edition. You got the what was it, like 3 buttons or 4 buttons?
It was like 4. It was like each main character.
Mm-hmm.
At first I thought like, oh, did they just take the game out of like the big box and just like be like, ship it out anyway? I mean, I wouldn't be that surprised if they did, admittedly.
I can get that.
Because like, you can go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no! I was just saying I totally understand that for sure.
But like, because that was like I did pre-order Strikers when that came out, and like GameStop in my area at least, they were having problem with like getting the game shipped over to the areas. So like
yeah,
Royal 2 days afterwards.
Royal hit at a weird time where people either were getting their game like right on lockdown quarantine day for some of them, or their GameStop got it and then locked down and they couldn't get it until their GameStop opened up again a month and a half later. It was like such a weird disaster. Although if you remember, and I have a couple friends who this happened to, people might remember if you ordered the Persona Q2 Special Edition off Amazon for whatever reason, half of them got it a month and a half early. And I'll never forget my friend Audrey got it so fucking early, and we both ordered it on Amazon, and I ordered it before her, and by some fucking miracle, she got it like a month and a half before me, and I was like, obviously it doesn't matter. Not like I was fucking dying to... I literally just ordered it because I knew I fucking wanted it, but it was one of those funny things of like, that was such a weird fuck up of like, that shipping out a month and a half early, and Atlas just didn't even care enough to comment. They're like, oh, whatever. I mean, hey, it's like, what are you gonna do at that point?
That's true. I remember, also earlier, since you were talking about like reactions to like the trailer and stuff, like from like non-fans, I guess. I remember, we had like a lot of like a big like I guess Nintendo YouTubers, I guess. They were like, another RPG. Ugh, what is this?
Yeah, when I see like the, it is almost like a meme now of like, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. Don't you give me an RPG though. I don't play them. Platformers on my platform.
Paper Mario or Earthbound. That's the only 2 I can think of where they're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Very magical.
I can't imagine living a more boring life. A, being a Nintendo YouTuber. A, just calling yourself a YouTuber in general. And then B, just being like, I love Nintendo. I hate RPGs though. And it's just because like it's just one of those things that it's like it is like such a joke. That's why it was actually really funny of like seeing Scott the Woz like finally do that video of like, I appreciated someone finally coming at that stereotype of just like, it's just such a thing of, like, you don't even question it. Like, it's sad to say, but, like, you're the minority. If you love Nintendo and RPGs, you're just the minority, and it's really weird of, like, how long that took to finally flip. Like, I don't know if it's just Sakurai's been slowly fucking turning them all, like, horny by putting them all into Smash Brothers slowly, but I'm glad it's feeling less like a losing battle.
It's like he's like brainwashing everyone.
Yeah, he's either brainwashing them all to be horny or into weebs.
A little bit of both. They're like, Pyra and Mithra, pretty cool. I do like that Pyra character. Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, Devin and Lavinar bring up a great point of, it's not always hate, but it's not having time. There's always a difference, though. There's a difference between,
That's
true. I
true.
don't have the time to play it, or those people will say that, and then the people who are just like, oh, I hate Xenoblade Chronicles because it looks ugly and it's 200 hours long.
I don't know how you could ever hate Shulk, admittedly, but he's a funny fellow.
So, this would be your chance. You get your last goodbye, and I'm going to bring someone else into the chat. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
I guess I can plug my Twitter, I guess.
Please.
You don't have to, same thing. It's you, like the letter U, and then don't have to, but like there's no E in half, and it's the number 2. It's very complicated, I'm sorry. But I draw very cringy, I don't say cringy, it's like very not great art, but you know, I try.
Which is,
And,
which is in the Discord, so if people want to check it out, you do have some of your art in the Discord.
Yeah, it's true. I just posted one recently as we were talking, you know, Sonic 30th anniversary. It's time for the Blue Man to show him what we can do.
You're like one drawing away from being verified. I feel it in my gut. So somehow it's gonna happen. You're gonna get verified first.
Now on Discord or Twitter, because
on both. You're gonna get it all.
See, I'm gonna feel really bad for like the journalists. They're like, what?
Oh, great question. Is being verified a thing on like OnlyFans? I wonder if that's like you would imagine you'd have to be because it's all money. But then I wonder if there's like a way to be extra cool on OnlyFans where like no, you get paid and you're really verified.
Oh, I've never used OnlyFans, so I wouldn't know.
We'll find out. My Wu-Tang Clan, my OnlyFans is patreon.com/SMTN. So all like 5 of you who support the podcast, please thank you so much for what's definitely not my feet pics, but is sometimes the podcast early. So thank you. You don't have to again so much. Next up, we're letting Schmitty on. Schmitty, I don't know how long you've been in the waiting, but I appreciate saying the word Schmitty. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm going to be honest. It's been a very long day at work in covering this, and the fact that we're over 90 minutes is mind-boggling to me, especially because I've had one meal today.
I couldn't imagine, like, people that are, like, expecting Atlas pre-orders to go up, and they take off, like, work, like, hypothetically go to lunch break, wait for the pre-order, and they don't show up, and there's, like, hazard, like, checking their phone throughout the entire day because this pre-order thing is a giant mess.
It's crazy the amount of people I know who were like, holy fuck, I took off my lunch for this. And I mean, I have no shame. I've done the sneak off to the bathroom, you know, like pre-order a game, do something, blah, blah, blah. Like, the idea of, like, taking off time to reserve an Atlas game, I don't think is like, oh, haha, that's funny, because I wouldn't do that. I'm more coming out of the thing of, like, not that I wouldn't do it, that it's just never been a thing you had to do, you know? Like, I have no shame in doing that. I've literally snuck out of work to pre-order a game that came with a fucking pair of panties. Again, I have no room to, like, hate on anyone for doing anything. It's just, Atlas, you've never had to do that before. And then for this to be, like, the straw that broke the camel's back, like, we didn't fucking start a riot for P5 or P5R or any other Persona Collector's Edition. So the fact that SMT is, like, the one that finally did it is just so fucking funny.
Yeah, I was going to say what ePoach was going to say. I think it actually is like the pandemic. Like, right after March, everything just started being scalped. PS5s, pretty much everything now, like the new Metroid special editions being scalped. I didn't even know that was available, and now they're just all on eBay for like $200. Mm-hmm. Just everything is stupid expensive now. Because
and it's going to be that way for a while, man. Like, the situation is just, it's really, really rough.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that, like, they can they can get their act together and maybe get these pre-orders out at some point. Because honestly, I've only seen one on eBay, one scalp on eBay, but that was like $400 for one of them.
Yeah, and the whole like the eBay thing for is like that image of the $400 will be passed around 1,000 times more than it will ever be paid for. You know, like no one is actually going to buy it when we still don't know if it's sold out. Because again, one of the things I wanted to point out here, it's not sold out. They're just waiting to hear back from Japan, and like because like my big thing is I want to get to is I've been trying to tell people at Atlas West, hey, when this fucking is gone, you've got to tell people. It's gonna suck, and they're all gonna be mad at you, but guess what? We're all mad at you now, and it will make you look better in the long run, as opposed to just always giving people hope of, like, look at like something like Square Enix when, like, the Nier Replicant Collector's Edition sold out. They never told people it was never going to go back in stock again, and then they never notified people when it actually did go back in stock, and it just became this thing of literally until launch for almost like a year, I kept refreshing that page and like, is it going to come back? Is it going to come back? Is it going to come back? Like, you're just wasting people's time and not even their money. So what's the point of it?
Yeah. I also want to say before you went on that, that SMT5 collector edition was sold 10 times. He got 10 of them and sold all 10 of them.
I will say this though. Not like I don't believe it. The thing with that, though, is... Because this is all eBay, I assume, right?
Yes.
eBay, it is very easy to say, hey, I'm going to buy this, or make it look like something was sold, and not actually do it. Like, let's say, oh, I've got 10 of these for sale, but I want people to look like a couple have actually been bought, so I'm going to make it look like something has been bought, but I don't actually finish the transaction. When a transaction fails like that or doesn't go through, eBay doesn't list that as, oh, that was a failed transaction. It just shows it as, oh, that was sold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really hope no one bought that thing for $400.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I'm also pissed off because earlier today I had technically had the chance to get it. Video Games Plus, have you heard of that website?
Oh yeah, VGP, big fans here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna get it, but I don't have money at the moment, and they said for pre-orders you have to pay up front, so I kind of like passed on that one. Mm-hmm. And that was unfortunate I didn't get that, but overall I kind of, in financial decisions, I had to be the adult here to not spend $120.
I'm glad to hear. Well, do you have any other last things you want to say before you get out of here and we get someone else on?
Please notify us when pre-orders are going to be back in stock, Atlas. That's
I thought you were just going to say that to me. I'm like, I'm trying. I'm doing my best, everybody.
And anybody who knows, I would appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you so much for popping in.
No problem. See you later.
All right, next up, can we get my favorite little baby Mudkip picture in here? Because Cheeto 1229, you just look so adorable with your little Mudkip avatar. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, I'm just doing good. You know, well, no, I'm not doing good.
Well, hey, you're doing as good as you can be. Look, here's a great way to describe it. We're not doing good, but we are doing $120 better.
That is true. That is true. Especially since a bunch of games are about to come out soon.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, especially like not even thinking about this fall, but like God, even just this summer. Like I know everyone here in chat's fucking frothing at the mouth to play Samurai Warriors 5 with me next month. It's probably not just me going to be buying it, right? Everyone here is going to be buying that.
Yeah, and I need to get No More Heroes, and I still don't know when Danganronpa comes out for the Switch.
I wonder. Just a quick little thing. Do you think Danganronpa CE is gonna like sell out fast? Because I have this weird feeling of like, I think people are hyped because there's something new, not on phones only for Danganronpa, but I just don't think people are going to double dip back into the Switch version as much as Twitter makes it seem.
Well, it really depends in my opinion, because the Vita versions always went up super high, but at first nobody really got them at first. But I feel like maybe after people see some gameplay in the release date, people will start buying it. Because I pre-ordered the standard edition because if I'm buying SMT special edition, I don't need the Danganronpa one. But I know a couple of friends who are planning to buy it since it's gonna be the first time, and they want to get the special edition,
Mhm.
just because they know that Danganronpa stuff always gets super sold out, like, and later on gets like super expensive. So they'd rather be safe than sorry.
I will say this though, I am also I still have a chip on my shoulder. I always will. Spike Chunsoft, because they fucking murdered the Vita version digitally and still won't put it back. Also, the fact that they're not putting it in a steelbook for the $100 collector's edition and it's just in a shitty metal tin, I think is hilariously funny to me.
Oh yeah, one of my friends was gonna get it because I was steelbook and when he saw it was just a melting, he was like, "Oh, cancel! Just get a standard one."
Yeah, 100%. Like, do you need those fucking shitty postcards that aren't even like good art composition? It's like, hey, here's the beautiful box art of Danganronpa 1, 2, and V3, and then a random shot of like character PNGs next to it.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done better on it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for $100, just getting like some cards and a sampler CD. No.
All right, man. Well, do you have anything else before I cycle anyone else through here? Any other final thoughts or opinions you wanted to shout out to the world?
I just want to say, Alice, they better get it together because literally at work I was trying to pre-order the game, and the moment they got the GameStop, the GameStop pre-order up, I was about to order it, and then my boss came in, so I had to like pretend I wasn't buying something while having my card out at the same time.
This is legitimately like, this is where we're at right now. I want people to know. I had people walking into me. I'm in my office alone, like an office where there's supposed to be multiple people working. I'm alone, covering like 3 other positions, calling GameStop, answering the phone at work, and someone walks in, and I think, should I like hang up my phone and attest this? I'm like, no. I need to find this out first. Lady coming in, you look very nice. I'm sure you can understand. I'm calling about Shin Megami Tensei 5 Collector's Edition. And yes, those are all real words. I did not just make them up.
Yeah, no, it's so chaotic, and I hope Alice could fix this anytime soon, because I'm right now still refreshing just in case if Amazon or Best Buy just drops out of nowhere.
Yeah. My greatest fear is it's just going to be, as soon as this show is either almost done or I take a bathroom break or I do a shower or something, Best Buy will just come and say, everybody buy Spencer's copy really, really fast.
Yeah, it would be so mad. Especially since I'm a big SMT Persona collector. Like, I try to get the collector edition for each of them. Of course, I don't got, like, the Persona 4 Golden Special Edition that's, like, $1,000, but I try to get most of them since the knickknacks always are cool.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you again for so much coming on and letting us know your thoughts. I appreciate this. Hilariously, nobody has made this a huge embarrassment to me and the channel, which is a very low bar. So everyone who's been coming on and voicing their opinions or just talking in chat is very, very much appreciated. So thank you again, man.
Yeah, thank you. Especially for giving us all the news and information.
No problem. So next up, we got Mac, who probably has a lot more Maka now than he did or didn't, depending on if they have the collector's edition pre-ordered. Mac, how's it going?
Good. How about you?
Good, tired, exciting, but also really ready to just sit down when I'm done with this and just play the ending of Ratchet & Clank, because I'm just like, man, that game is so jolly. I want you all to know, I love talking about Shin Megami Tensei, Atlas, and Persona with y'all, that I resist talking about the other shit I play so much. Like, I could just talk about Returnal and make a Returnal podcast, but I know you all don't want to hear about that shit for 9 hours every week.
I tried that game at my brother-in-law's house, and that I did not expect. Like, I had no idea what it was for like the longest time until he actually let me try it, and it's a lot cooler than I thought it was.
The way I like to describe Returnal to fans of SMT who know nothing of it, hold on, I have to just, because Wu-Tang Clan keeps not getting the idea. Wu-Tang Clan, the Danganronpa tin is not anything cool or holds your game case. It's literally a shitty little Monokuma-shaped tin. It's not slips in, it's got a shitty tin, you take up the top, you put all your, like, old condoms and Danganronpa fanfiction, and you never use it again. It's very bad and very cheap looking. But yeah, so the thing with it of, like, the way I sell Returnal to people, or as I think I sell it to people, is it's Strange Journey meets, like, a roguelike. It's like, oh, sorry, no. A good way of, like, not even, like, just roguelike stuff for it. The world is like if Strange Journey in the first Alien movie had a baby. It's very grimy, it's very dirty, but, like, the alien and the creature designs and the demons look really, really interesting and really, really cool. It just sucks of, like, I think recommending PS5 exclusives are so hard right now, because it's like, hey, do you have that $500 machine no one can buy? Well, buy this $70 game that's really fucking hard and you're gonna bash your balls into the blade. Be like, that sounds great, I can't do any of these things.
Yeah, no, when I first tried it, the first thing that popped into my head was Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the Metroid thing is very, very big. Like, that would, I think if Nintendo could pay someone to make that a Metroid game, I think people would fucking lose their shit. Like, I'm not even one of those people who think, like, oh, Metroid Dread looks like cheap or whatever. I think if Nintendo could say, oh, this is Metroid Prime Rogue, they would fucking do that in a heartbeat. They just can't.
Yeah, no, that'd be sick. Yeah, on the special edition, I managed to get one of them from GameStop.
Nice. In-store or online?
Online. I was surprised I even got it, because I think I went and purchased it like 3 minutes after that tweet went out, and I kept checking my email and everything to make sure it went in. But yeah, it looks like it went in. Like, I have everything confirmed.
Nice. Yeah, GameStop's usually pretty good about not really screwing stuff with that. I know their delivery stuff can definitely kind of change if you don't want to pay for the hilariously overpriced shipping times and stuff. I will say this, my first time I ever ordered anything off GameStop is a funny story. I always hated the idea of, like, ordering anything online, but the one thing that finally made me break was the special edition of Golden. And it was just because it wasn't like it was rare at the time, but I had just waited long enough that I couldn't do it anywhere in store. It was one of those things of, oh, I'm sure I can just show up day one and there'll be a collector's edition. But because they were like, no, dude, there's only 10,000 of these, I got super scared. This was like right at the beginning of the podcast, and I said, fuck it, I'll pay fastest shipping, buy it on GameStop, and my first order I ever did, it's still there in my account history, is I paid like $110 for like day one shipping for Golden Special Edition. And to this day, especially with how much that thing goes for now, I'm like so fucking glad that. Quick thing, because what the chat's saying. Tommy says, I wonder if I can go to Best Buy and ask in person. So Best Buy used to be really great about you could go and pre-order stuff in stores. You can still, but they're very kind of weird about it. Like, if you find someone who's not, like, aware of what they're doing, it really, really fucking sucks. Because, like, Best Buy used to, like, have a kiosk for, pre-orders. Like, you go, you punch in this thing, and they give you the little slip for, oh, I want Final Fantasy 15 on PS4, the deluxe edition. And then you get the thing. Whereas now, if you want, you have to, like, basically act like you're checking out, say, I want to reserve this, and then they'll look at you for 5 minutes and go like, why didn't you just fucking do it online? And it's like, because I know you can do it in store, but can you just do it online? Like, Best Buy in-store pre-order definitely sucks a lot more now, and I would not go in expecting it if it's not on the website, because if it's not on the website, they 100% can't do it in store. But sometimes, and this happens more for systems than collector's editions, but Best Buy in-store only is sometimes an option for online. So like when you're going to check out, you just go and do that. But yeah, Best Buy is a solid one. Best Buy is my usual go-to just because I like their reward system. Their store delivery dates are always really, really solid, and there's one literally like 3 minutes from my work. Like, I can walk to my Best Buy where I work, which is really, really nice.
Most places where we don't even have gaming stores here anymore, the only one we have is Walmart. So before I could have gone to GameStop that was like 10 minutes away from here, but they closed it down, so the closest one's about close to an hour away. So if I wanted to go in store, I would have had to have left, since I'm on Eastern time, I would have left at 11 to get to GameStop on time to order it.
Weird question for you and for Chad. What are the chances of Walmart not getting SMT5? They skipped for Nocturne HD, but I think that one makes a little bit more sense just because, yeah, I was like, I get that. Like, I get why you would skip Nocturne and not skip SMT5.
Strikers.
But when it was like, well, I mean, oh my god, like when I go to like my Walmart now, like my Walmart is just like overflowing with copies of Strikers. Like they can't give it away.
Yeah, I think they'll have SMT5 at Walmart, in my opinion, just because
the thing
I think that this is such.
Oh,
go
no,
ahead.
the thing I was going to say about it, like, if people are just pre-ordering the standard edition, you don't need to pre-order that, guys. Like, you can just go to Walmart if you have one in your area, and that game will be like $50 for the Steelbook edition. So it'll be the cheapest version possible, and you'll still get that Steelbook day one.
That's what probably I'm gonna do if I get a standard one too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think that Walmart will have it personally, just because this is a bigger sale, and I think because Nintendo's helping push it.
Yeah, the Nintendo bump will definitely help. Whereas, like, I don't think anyone could fucking convince Target and Walmart to be like, "Hey, do you guys want to sell this like 20-year-old game about punching demons in the nuts?" I'm like, no, we're good, dude. Give us Farming Simulator. We'll sell you that. Not the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they'll have this one at the very least, but yeah.
All right, man. Well, anything else you want to say before we get you out of here and on with the rest of your night and everyone else's? I'm probably gonna start wrapping up and rapid firing everyone else here who has not been on the show, but thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I had one question. I wanted to get your thoughts on the change of the gameplay of being open world more than it used to be. Well, now that it's open world versus how it used to be more of a dungeon crawler.
Hold on. Before I answer that, just because people are in chat, and I kind of want to like have this in order. So chat, anyone, well, not chat like as in YouTube, but chat if you do, well, also call out for if you are on YouTube, look at the episode description. We have the SMTN Discord at the very top of the description. If you want, just join the Town Hall, mute yourself until I call on you. If you want to be part of this before the end of the show, message in the Discord general chat. Just say, like, here. Like, just kind of give yourself a thing of just saying, like, hey, here, whatever. That way I know people are here and they are ready to go and have not already talked before, just so I can kind of weed that out. So, last call for all of that fun stuff. But yeah, so my thoughts on the gameplay change, I'm really excited about it because I didn't think they would actually commit to it in the sense of, like, this is like Xenoblade 1 levels of kind of scale, which is funny that I'm comparing this Unreal Engine 4 game to a Switch thing. But, like, I think for Atlus, that's a really big deal, especially just because, like, new engine, they're not playing it safe. We're not seeing a lot of corridors. We're seeing large, open environments. We're seeing things looking good. We're seeing enemies actually on the map. We're seeing multiple enemies. Like before, seeing an enemy on screen when there's more than 2 or 3 in an area is crazy. Whereas, like, you look at those early on areas, and there's, like, in a single shot of a map, you'll see, like, maybe something like 10 demons on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing I was super pumped to see, that it actually went open world, because I'll be honest, before we saw the trailer, I was thinking that it was still gonna be in dungeon crawler, just larger scope, just like SMT4 Nocturne but bigger. But the fact that they went open world and have like different ways of moving around the world I think that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, thanks, man. That was a great question. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Also, everybody, just because I'm fucking, like, the worst about ever marketing myself, as anyone who listens to the show will tell you, this is a weekly SMT and Persona and Atlas and just whatever the heck we want to talk about podcast. But also, if you're watching this live on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I like to assume the content I make is not terrible. It's not the best video quality, but you will at least learn something, hopefully, either every podcast or weekly editorial video. So, plugging myself aside because that's very gross. Next person I want to bring on, who was first? I'm trying to think if it was, I think it was Snack. Snack, can you come in and give me some nice snackies?
Going on? Yo, this is a long time coming. I have been in your DMs for at least a year now.
I don't believe I don't believe you, Snack.
Well, my Twitter ad is different than my Discord name. So once I tell you what my Twitter ad is, you'll be like, oh yeah,
no,
this fucking
okay,
guy.
I know what it is. Does it start with a Z?
No, that's my first name, but yes.
There you okay.
Yes.
Then no, you are very much correct. So yes, please go, sir. It's your moment to shine. I will not steal you
Moment
away.
to shine. I've made it. I've made it to the big time. My real name is Zaid. Spell that backwards, you get Diaz, which I think is pretty cool. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised with the just the Discord reaction and how many people didn't get it. I was able to get it without a hitch. I got the tweet initially from Wario64, so sorry for everybody that doesn't like that guy.
Wait, do people really not like Wario 64?
No, I heard what you said earlier, and you're like, "Well, screw this guy." So
no, yeah, nothing but love to like anyone who does like those accounts
if
for
you read
sure.
his comments, if you read his comments, it's hilarious. Like the first comment after he posts something that sells out immediately is always sold, gone, and then the immediate reaction after that is someone cussing him off. It's like, why do you even post this stuff? Like, we've been waiting for like weeks for you to post about the PS5, and it's like, hey guys, he's just doing his job. Like, come on.
Poor Wario, man.
Yeah, but I was able to get it relatively easily. I think the thing I'm most excited for has literally nothing to do with that comes in it. It's just the box. I ran an experiment last week where I put all my special edition stuff like on my desk, and the amount of questions I got when I would have guests over was like, "Whoa, like, what is that? Persona 5? I've never heard of that." I was like, "Oh yeah, I could." And then it turns into a conversation where we're talking about Persona 5, and I'm like, "Yeah, I like talking about Persona 5, so let's do it."
See, like
but
that's
the collectible
always like
box
so
looks sick.
fun. Like when you bring someone over and like just have something as kind of like a conversation starter. That's like some of my favorite things of like when people will come over and be like, "Why the fuck do you have all your Disney Infinity figures on display? You don't play Disney Infinity?" Like, because that's a conversation starter.
Exactly. Yes. And this podcast has been wild. We've been all over the place. To answer your question about being verified, I actually have like a really funny story. I took a trip to Dubai. Listen to this.
If you're verified, I'll be very jealous for no reason.
I'm not verified. Me and my 200 followers, we're sticking strong though. But in Dubai, if you go, I visited like 5-6 years ago, and they pay like exorbitant amounts of money. I'm talking like 5-figure sums to get lower license plate numbers, like 4 digits on your license plate instead of 5, 3 license plate numbers instead of 4. They pay a lot of money for that, and that's why I figure the whole Twitter verification comes into play. It's just people want to have that clout. They're like, hey, like any clout at any point, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I will say this: if you told me right now, you came up to me and said, "Spencer, do you want to be verified?" I would actually probably almost say no. Just as like a contrarian thing of like, not because like, oh, I don't want to be verified, of like I am so almost like cringed out by my friends who want it. I'm like, I think it's almost weird. Like, it would be weird if like I've publicly shit on it so much now of like why beg to be verified. Like, I think the best way to be verified is like, oh cool, I woke up one day and I'll tell you right now, if I'm verified tomorrow, I'm not making a fucking tweet about it. You're not gonna see a fucking tweet of me getting out of bed and be like, yo, I'm fucking verified, holy fucking rip off my shirt, don't look at the check mark, look at the fucking check mark, homies. I'm gonna be like, bro, you're still the same person you are. Like, I'm going to my day job. I'm gonna fucking still tweet about fucking femboy pics.
I still gotta pay rent, bro. I still gotta pay rent. This verification is not helping me. But I'm actually curious. I mean, I'm actually kind of new to the Shin Megami Tensei Persona universe. Persona 5 was my first game. Went back, played Persona 3, Persona 4, played Nocturne. I bought a PS2 for Nocturne, played Digital Devil Saga. But I'm like, other than the treehouse, like, what is it about this game that you're most excited for? Besides, people getting it in their hands and SMT getting more clout than it already deserves.
I don't talk about this enough because I want to do another video kind of getting more into this because I could get some people on to kind of talk about it and be a little bit nerdier with it, but I kind of want to wait till it's out for that. I really, honest to God, am most excited of the tech. I really just want to fucking sink my teeth into this and just kind of explore this of like, this like to me is when you would see an Unreal Engine 3 game on Vita. Be like, what the fuck? Like, this fucking engine runs on this thing? Like, and obviously, like, it's not as bad as, like, Unreal Engine. Like, when I looked at something like Borderlands or Galgun, I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy that this thing runs on this system. And, like, I want to have moments like that with SMT5. I want to be playing it for myself, and I want to see it chug, and I won't go, oh god, it's on Switch. Like, look how bad it's running. I'm gonna, like, look at those moments where it's pushing the game, and I hope that my reaction is going to be like when I see a Vita game struggling and it's an exclusive, and I go, fuck yeah, they pushed this. Like, I want to play this game, and I want to see them... They pushed Unreal Engine harder on Switch than any game has ever pushed it, and I would love for that to be true.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was running well at the Treehouse during E3.
Yeah, the stuff for it has been really, really nice so far.
So I'm looking forward to. You know what? It's actually ironic because that's something like that's a reason I don't buy games on my Switch. Luckily, I'm in a financial position where I can get pretty much anything I want. But like, that's like I have my Switch. It's just for like Nintendo exclusives. I guess this kind of counts as one now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you look at all the ports and all the games that they're bringing to it. Like they did that. The famous one I think of is Crash 4. How they said like, oh, we actually redid the entire art style so it could run.
Oh
on
my,
Switch.
yeah, stuff like that. I love that. Like, don't give me like a whatever port. Like, yeah, something like Doom Eternal. That's fine. I want to see you fucking make this thing different. I want you to see like make this a interesting. Like fucking going back to Disney Infinity because I'm a 9-year-old child. Disney Infinity should not run on the PlayStation Vita. It is amazing that it does, and no one remembers it. Like, stuff like that is insane. I love when games have stuff like that. So, yeah, the technology makes me the most excited out of everything.
Yeah, well, if anybody in chat or, watching, if you guys are having trouble with scheduling and stuff, luckily I'm working from home. So when this stuff comes back in next week, SMT5's Collector's Edition, you're interested, shoot me a Discord message, and I'll see if I can get it for you. I've been like I mentioned in chat, like, I actually... when I ordered the PS5, it was that day that they did the announcement, and then all the pre-orders just kind of dropped out of nowhere.
I want you to just like everyone is just going to be messaging you on Discord or Twitter and just be like, okay, so I need your routing number, your SSI number, and your PayPal login, and then if you give me that, we can get this going for you next week. Don't worry.
I'll give you my credit card number, my expired credit card, and you guys can use that. But I'll do what I can. I mean, I'm sitting at home anyway, so it's like whatever. If anybody needs help trying to get it, and then you could just give me your pertinent information that I need to grab.
The mother's maiden name. That's a good. We always forget mom's maiden name. Can't forget that one.
Yeah. But it's been great to be on. I'm sure you want to close off. You've been doing this for 2 hours, and you got to eat, my man.
I told my wife, I was like, I think I'll go for 2 hours. But then in the back of my head, I was like, what if like no one shows up? Like, what if nobody like wants to talk about this at all and is like, I gotta fucking move on, dude. I didn't buy the game. What the fuck are we gonna talk about? So
exactly.
So thank you for coming on, and thank everyone else for coming on as well as making this an awesome time.
Yeah, I just want to close off before I head out. I just want to say I've been following your work for about a year now, and you do just some amazing stuff for the SMT Persona community. I have a Persona in there because that's like the North American mainstream thing nowadays. when you see Persona, people lose their nuts, but like when they see SMT5, they're just like, SMT. We'll wait for Persona 6.
Hey, this is the year we change that. But I appreciate you, man. You speak way too highly of the garbage I put out every week. But I'm glad people
man,
like
are you kidding me? I live for this stuff, man. I can't get enough content in my life. If you ever need someone to hop on a podcast because you're scared of moments like that, you know where to find me. I'll DM you right now just so you remember.
I appreciate it, and I keep telling people, I'm like, it seems like I'm busy. I promise it seems like I'm busy. As soon as we are out of June, I'm gonna be fucking dying for reasons to get people on. Like, we're not gonna be having the podcast every week be like, so what did you think of this 10-second demon trailer? Huh? Like, we're not gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna have a lot of time in between July and November to really just bring people on. I want to make it like a big kind of like culmination of like, I really want to get a lot of people new and people you haven't heard from in a long time just like coming on and really like kind of get into it. So yeah, we'll have a way to get you on, I promise, before
Perfect.
The promise is before SMT5, even though it's like fucking 5 months away.
No, I know you're busy. Also, just want to clarify, I will get you the SMT5 Collector's Edition. I won't pay for it. I expect a Venmo before I send this thing.
No! I could not do that. I will just go in and we'll just do like
everybody else.
We'll do an Ocean's 11 heist at Atlas West HQ, and we'll go in pretending to be Super Monkey Ball cosplayers. We'll get in a fight with the Yakuza devs who just look like Yakuza members themselves, and then when no one's looking, we'll steal off all of the SMT5 collector's editions.
Perfect. All right. Well, you can catch me on Twitter at Snackmite. That's spelled as exactly like it sounds. Thank you for having me on, Spence. It's truly been an honor. To everybody watching, continue to support this man. We're trying to get him that blue check mark.
No! We can't get me verified. I do too many bad things.
10K subs on YouTube. 10K subs on YouTube. Let's get that hopefully by the end of the summer. Fingers crossed, though. Fingers crossed.
It'll just be the more popular I get, the more people will be like, who's fucking listening to this guy?
Alrighty. Thanks for having me on, Spence.
Thanks, man. Have a good rest of your night, for sure.
Yeah, you too. Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Alright, so next up, a name I'm definitely going to just disgustingly butcher. Disgustingly. Epoch? Epooch? Epook? Epoochie Gucci? How do I say your name, sir?
Epic? It's a Greek word.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think that's how it's called.
That's more embarrassing. That's more embarrassing. I was just saying your name like a drunk Pokemon name, so more apologies.
It's fine. No one ever gets it right, homie.
So give me the correct pronunciation, so I know not to do that again.
I'm pretty sure it's Epic because it's like Greek for like era or whatever.
What? You can't say I'm pretty sure if it's your name. That's why I think it's Shin
Chrono
Megami.
Trigger, my guy. Come on. It was like I played that in '95. I'm like, what is it, Epoch? And so I looked it up in a dictionary and it says Epic. I'm like, what? That doesn't look like Epic. And then it's whatever. I'll call it. Epic.
How many donations to the chat that definitely does not need donations? How many donations would we need for you to just change it to Epoch? That's the real question.
Fine. People do it. People call it that anyway. I'm not plussed.
All right, man.
So how are you doing, by the way?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I've got a second wind, but I know as soon as I get through everybody on here, I will eventually just crash hilariously hard. My wife at least gave me a water. I just finished my water, and it was like, I'm going to die as soon as the water's out. So, what are your thoughts today? Give me the lowdown. Let me know what you think.
Oh, so I'm stupid. Like I knew. So I saw a tweet from someone, not Wario actually. It was like a couple minutes before he put out his tweet. Someone said, "Oh, it's on GameStop. Go on the app." And I looked at it and I saw it, and I looked at it for like a good 10 minutes because it said it was shipping on it was gonna arrive 2 days after the game launches, and I'm like, man, I don't want to wait 2 days to play the game. I want to take the Friday off to play the game.
That's a great point. Yeah, because that delay. If you're not getting it that Friday and God hope Saturday, you are not going to wait until Monday. That's you just got to go into hibernation mode at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I saw that.
That's
and
a rough one.
And so then I decided to drive for it, and that's when they kicked it out of my car. I'm like, oh, okay, well, good on me for waiting 10 minutes.
they made it easy for you.
Yeah, exactly. But seeing. I think it wouldn't have been so annoying if, they said, "Oh, we didn't expect this bunch of a response, so we're gonna put off plans." But I know they're trying to be all marketing. We don't want to say anything right now to get people too hyped up or get scalpers online or whatever. But man, it's gonna be real bad if Best Buy or Amazon does it at 3 a.m. and then just people get it and they're like, "Oh, that really sucks."
No, yeah,
I can't stay until 3 a.m. I got stuff to do tomorrow, my dudes.
My hope is that they've at least told Amazon and Best Buy now, just don't even put it live anymore. Just wait until we have a unified message. Hopefully they come out tomorrow and say, guys, obviously they're not gonna give me all the specifics I know, but because I'm gonna pull up the quotes I have over here, but basically. Chugga. They just told all the retailers 2 hours after pre-order started going up. They said, okay, this is way out of our initial forecast. We have to wait and hear back from Japan because estimates are so low right now that we need to know exactly how many you all can sell. And the more people keep selling out, the worse they're just going to keep looking.
I mean, people eat up Switch exclusives at this point, so like I could see that being one of the contributing factors. I didn't expect it to be this crazy. Like I've been with Atlas since like 2003, and with like original Nocturne, I got my Raiho plush from, I think it's Raiho 2, but this is the worst it's been, I feel like, for a long time. And so like the fact they froze the other stores is like, or supposedly from what you say and what we hear, the fact that they froze the other stores, I'm like, damn. I mean, I'm excited for the game. A lot of the Western reaction from like journalists and YouTubers being pretty muted is not unexpected, but kind of annoying. But I mean, whatever. I guess they'll eat crow or whatever if like this game does super well.
My big hope is like once this kind of gets like taken out of it, I would just love nothing more than to have this just be like the crazy success story of the year in terms of like, because even though like it's a big game, it's a big exclusive, I still don't think people are expecting this to be like a million seller launch. But God, I'd fucking love this to be. Like, remember, we're talking about a company that freaks out when they sell over 100,000 copies of a game.
I mean, I mentioned it in chat. I want this to at least do as well as Dragon Quest XI did for the Switch, because like it's one of those, I like when niche RPGs get supported. For, like, these are like historic franchises in Japan, and people in Japan know them. But like, I like these games; they're good. I want more of them to come out, and so I like it when they do well. And like seeing how like there was the 35th anniversary of Dragon Quest stream like a couple weeks ago, like seeing like how many simultaneously worldwide games that were coming out. I was like, that's really cool, and I hope that more Atlas stuff does, like, we get more in the future for Atlas games. Also, a new Trauma Center.
Oh my God! when I made that tweet of like the Arrested Development tweet of like Atlas just doesn't like Trauma Center, I want like everybody to know, nobody replied to that tweet at all. That like it like slightly kind of blew up a little bit by like my standards of like, oh cool, 7 likes, but like it did pretty well enough to the point of like, I want you all to know, I've never made a tweet or, like, broken an embargo to the point where someone felt the need to message me, except when I made that Trauma Center tweet about how no one at Atlas cares about it anymore, I had someone who works at Atlas Japan message me, and they just said,
what?
And they just said, oof! That's rough, man. And I'm like, you can't say that! You can't say
right? Trauma Team was such a tremendous failure that it was like, oh well, it just killed the series.
So yeah, it's like Atlas Japan will not come at me for trying to like break their marketing plans or announcements about things. But no, if I call them out for having killed Trauma Center, no, then it's too soon. Then we've hit too close to home.
The Wii U was a perfect platform for Trauma Center. Like you could do the body on the tablet while like stats were on the screen.
Would HD Trauma Center be scary though? Like imagine with like the DualSense haptics and stuff of like the pressure triggers. Cool. Like all right, cool. You gotta hold L2 3/4 down, and then you have to hacksaw with R2, and it's gonna be really rough and nasty.
Yeah, like the rumble just going in and just like scaring the piss out of someone.
8K Trauma Center.
You've got a cataract artery! What are you doing?
Oh my God. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any final words before I get like the last 2 or 3 people in here?
No, it was fun. I try to get on another time too. We can hash it out some more. I love talking about Atlas and old games.
I appreciate like a fellow OG coming in here. I do want to ask before I get you out here. You said you started in 03. Do you know what your first Atlas game was?
It was no, it wasn't Nocturne.
I was gonna say maybe you were playing the beta version.
No. Was it 03? I did start with Nocturne.
So probably like
it might not have
04
been 03.
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't start with the PS1 games. Like I didn't know about Persona 1 and 2 until after 3 came out, and then I went back and looked at that. I was like, oh, this is pretty good.
As someone who started with Revelations, I want everyone out there to know, don't like feel bad like don't think like there's some hipster club of all of us out
Oh, we're just
here
old.
being like, yo, man, all us PS1 Atlas fans, we were playing Guilty Gear and Revelations Persona. We were fucking living it. No, dude. If you played Atlas games, that was because you couldn't afford to buy Final Fantasy. Like, it was not, like, the cool brand back then. Like, Atlas I don't think was not cool until probably, like, pretty much like P3 era, like, because like you would hear people talk about Nocturne, but it was very far from a like household name until late PS2 generation.
I remember, I don't know if you know the old GameSpot days, but I remember Greg Kasavin did like the review of Nocturne way back in the day.
That is still on
Supergiant
YouTube
now.
too. That video is still on YouTube.
Yep, and he was like, this is like a really artsy, interesting game with like a lot of subtle undertones. Like, yeah, he wasn't wrong. I love that guy. Good on him for like doing the Supergiant stuff, and Hades is a knockout of the park there with him.
Indie darling, Hades. Everyone give them your support. They need all the money they can.
Yeah,
handle.
they need that. Oh, maybe I should stop shilling other games.
Everyone buy the physical copy of Hades, please. That's the only reason I've been waiting. Like, literally, I'm like, I know I will love Hades, but I'm being a cheap ass. Well, not cheap ass. I was waiting for the physical version. Cool, it's coming to PS5. Now I can start jizzing over it like everyone else.
I met him at the first PAX. He's a super.
Greg is a super nice guy. Everyone is Supergiant. The funny part is I used to like joke about it. Like, I loved Supergiant before I played any of their games. I didn't play a Supergiant game until whatever year, probably was 2019. I finally played Bastion on Vita because it came out physically.
Okay.
No, that would have been 2018. So yeah, fall of 2018, I
Yeah.
finally played Bastion for the first time. The last man on Earth who had never played Bastion was like, "Man, this Bastion game is pretty good. You guys hear about this?" And like everyone from Xbox 360 is like, "No fucking duh. That's why it's on fucking everything."
Don't worry, there'll always be new kids. It'll be like, oh man, this Bastion game's great. Have you heard of this?
Waiting for that Pyre fan base. That Pyre fan base. One day those Pyre fans will be up.
I still need to play it.
All right, man. Well, have a good rest of your night. Thank you, man.
You too, peace. Do this another time.
All right, so next up we've got, I think, Final 2, unless somebody wants to pop in and make me feel bad about being very slow. I saw somebody in here had like something girl in their name. If you are in here still, please pop in, because I've seen you like pop in for way too long for me to have been ignoring you. But next up we will do Scorchy. I think I'm saying your name right.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, man?
Listen, I've been working since 10, so from one tired person to another. This thing was a goddamn disaster. I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm a little more mad at this than I probably should be. You know, I mean, as someone who's trying to get the fucking PS5 since November. And
Oh, so you're
has not
still
gotten
trying
it.
to get the PS5?
Still.
Send any luck, man.
So I've been fucking checking, like, online and shit every day on Twitter. It is rough, but I've got like a like PTSD from scalping now. So this was the last straw for me, and we should have known something was up when they started doing the digital deluxe shit. Like, even for Atlas, that was scummy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the idea of a digital deluxe is like fun, because usually like digital people don't have the option to, you know, collector's editions aren't really a thing for them. So the thing was actually like even the playing field, but getting to early release, that's stupid. That is abhorrent. I don't know who signed off on that, but the fact that that happened twice is just terrible. I am not a fan of that at all. And apparently Nintendo isn't either.
No, thank God. The
is a
rare
good
time
sign.
where
Thank God.
the rare time where Nintendo is in agreement with their fans. Fucking thank God.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've seen like one person genuinely say, "This is great. I like this." Because usually,
I love
people
paying
are...
$80 for something I can't hold and has no value immediately upon release.
Yeah, because I mean, motherfuckers do it because like it's an option, right? No one's really feeling that great doing it, but I don't know. I don't hate the people who do. Oh yeah, Guilty Gear did that. I forgot about that. I don't think
So
Guilty Gear did that. This is not a good precedent.
no, but what sucks is like it's all these fucking Japanese companies following a trend we made fun of EA and Activision for doing a decade ago. So it's like
shitty.
it's like, are we gonna have to teach them in 5 years that loot boxes are bad? Like what is this saying about like fucking goodwill?
And these aren't. I mean, Nocturne was fine. I mean, that game was 20 goddamn years old. I don't think anybody really got their panties in a twist for that. P5S was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty bad. I mean, we had to sit for a year. I mean, in the West, sitting for a year, watching Japanese players play that, and then even after all of that, we had to watch American players for like 5 days as they got the early release. That was bad. And then Guilty Gear is just terrible because that's a competitive thing.
The weird thing with Guilty Gear Strive
earlier...
is like it's multi-tiered delayed. Like there's Ultimate Edition players, there's the Deluxe Edition players, and then there's like the other thing of it of like, okay, also on top of all of that, like the whole thing with Guilty Gear in my brain is like and I know not a lot of people have really talked about this. Is anyone glad Arc System Works is publishing this in the West? Like, I liked that Axis Games was publishing them. Like, Arc System Works as a self-publisher, I feel has never led to me being like, oh, thank God. Like, I love that they're self-publishing this. It goes back to the Danganronpa thing of, I love your Japanese company, your Western publishing house 9 out of 10 times just kind of sucks.
I don't know. I can't really attest to that. I got into Guilty Gear pretty late. I mean, I was into Rev 2 and all that, but never really been around. I'm not.
Let me tell you, you missed a lot of poverty. Before us pre-Rev fans, you did not miss much outside of, oh, cool. Can I tell you about how I played the fucking PSP version of Judgment for 3 years competitively? Or would you like to know about Arc Rev++ on PS3 that like got online 9 million years late and no one ever fucking played it because the netcode was garbage?
Oh, I've heard horror stories about ArcSys netcode, which is why, I mean, it's a miracle. Strive's netcode is amazing. There's no way that is a miracle.
Yeah, that's like the rare thing of the Japanese company finally listening to their fans. Like I have so much respect for Arc System Works Japan. It's just like when it comes to like their Western publishing, the fact that people don't know they do it, I think should speak loudest to why I don't like them as a physical publisher. Because like their last game they released, physically at least, they do a lot of stuff digitally, but no one's talking, like when you talk about River City Girls, no one talks about that being an Arc System game. No one, like the last thing they literally backed behind money wise and they got burned really big, and I mean everyone got burned on this one, but was that Kill la Kill game. Like, yeah, that's cool if you're a Kill la Kill fan.
Bro.
That game was like 10 years late. Like that game should have come out 10 years ago.
That did not look like whenever the hell that came. I don't even remember. That's like some kind of like strange shadow memory of mine of that game even existing. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like that was their attempt of trying to do the CyberConnect thing of like, hey, say what you will about CyberConnect in terms of being a developer. CyberConnect people still go back to Ultimate Ninja. CyberConnect people still go back to their stuff and like remember it fondly. Like that Demon Slayer game will be remembered and discussed years after, like by comparison of Kill la Kill. Because guess what? That's coming out in a time where it makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, it's like obviously Arc as a developer is for the most part pretty great.
True, and I will say they were not the developer even in Japan of that Kill la Kill game. That was them just publishing it. I've always forget who the developer is for it.
That's like, oh, okay, Atlas published the fucking Attack on Titan DS game. Like it's really, they didn't have that much to do with it. But I don't know. A lot of this generation, a lot of this is scaring me, you know. Not even counting like $70 video games, which I don't know how I feel about that. But just a lot of shit.
As someone who's bought a couple, but has definitely turned down a lot, I think if you stick to first party, which has pretty much been like the safest bet, it's not felt weird. And the big one I was actually worried about was gonna be Ratchet and Clank, because I know that's not like a crazy long game. But like even Ratchet, I've had like, and I've never thought I would have these moments. I've had moments of being like, okay, this is why it's $70. Like it feels next gen, which is nice. Like,
have you seen? Oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
No, you're good. Go for it.
No, have you seen the motherfuckers on Twitter? It was like one guy that was saying like, "Oh, Ratchet and Clank doesn't have interactable plants, so this game should not be worth $7." Literally, it was like.
There's a discussion. There's a discussion to have about the development of Ratchet and Clank, mostly just due to the fact that like they definitely cut it. They definitely cut some corners for it, but as a quality game, it definitely stands up. Also, fucking shout out to after 2.5 hours, Tatsu with I'm not even sure what currency this is, but thanks so much for what equates to $3.98 for the big baller shot caller loves me the most in the live chat. Super chatted saying resellers just cast a fire of Sinai in the SMT community. I want to just say thank you so much for that extremely awesome super chat, not just because money is appreciated and I'm very broke most of the time, but also just because it goes back to our big thing. Every time we talk about scalpers and resellers, it is just giving them power. They are the fucking goddamn Voldemort of the community. If we do not talk about them, I promise, like, it is not that big of a thing. Because, think about it, before that $400 listing happened, it was still, oh god, what a shit show, you know? It's not like, oh god, eBay was flooded with them. Terrible. It's always going to be a problem, but for the most part, it was terrible before scalpers even started. But Tatsu, thank you so much for being. I'll have to think of some name for people who donate to this live in the bus for it. But Tatsu, for the night, you now own the title of you are now first gold place medalist of a #1 SMT fan. So if you want to be not #1 and only alone #1, your thing to beat right now is whoever can donate 2,501 CLP. Which I will now have to Google because I'm really curious what currency that is. But yes, man, what were you saying though before I very rudely cut you off?
Oh no, it's fine. You're doing your stream stuff. I don't remember what I was saying. It's just a lot of this. Oh yeah, I think a lot of the scalper reseller stuff is getting like it's always been kind of out of hand, but this is. Genuinely, if there was some kind of like law or something passed against this, I would not be surprised. Like, objectively, if you're a company, this does not matter to you in the slightest.
Oh yeah, because money,
like,
money is
people
money.
People are still buying your shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't care. Generally, you don't care. But like, I don't know. Especially with art, and you want people consuming your art and your product that you are making. Especially for SMT5, which is probably going to be definitely going to be the game, if any, that's going to get Megami Tensei on the mainstream map. And of course, yeah, Persona. But the Persona fans and the King Goomba guys do not know what the fuck Megami Tensei is. They don't.
I could not agree more, and it was like really like sad going back to like the games media conversation was I heard someone unironically say, Shin Megami Tensei 5 looks good for a Switch game. It's just not got that Persona hook to me. And I'm like, I'm like, as someone who sunk a lot of hours into both series, I just want you to know that is not a thing I would want copy and pasted over. Like if we had funky, it's like if we had funky jazz and dark outlines in SMT5, I would just be like, cool, you made a bad piece of art.
This is not like the thing about SMT versus Persona. Is that they're supposed to make you feel completely opposite emotions.
Yeah, because like it's funny. Like I know when you're saying versus, you mean in the comparative sense, but in the general thing, people at Atlas aren't being like looking at their teams like a rivalry. They are making parts of a universe that is interconnected by themes and settings and like demons. They're not making a thing of like they're not looking at each other like Pokemon and Digimon can get compared because that's just how that fucking makes sense.
No, and like I also releasing this has nothing to do with anything, but releasing SMT5 and Pokemon in the same month is not something I thought was going to happen.
I cannot wait for the comparisons of like there's gonna be like a screenshot of like the chibi art Pokemon and be like, this game sold 3 million copies in 1 month, and then SMT5's like, wait, like shows like this gorgeous shot of like an attack animation or something, and it's like, guys, we made 500,000 copies in the West, woo!
I don't know. I think just comparing in general for Megaton has never turned out great in a cultural sense.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it just evolves into shit shows and you have the people saying, well, SMT5 is fine, but can I have Persona 5 on Switch, please? Like, just stop comparing shit. Like, it has not done... It's not doing what you think it does.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think people just... I think Persona fans need to shut the fuck up. I'd really hate Persona 2. Persona 5 is my...
I at least want to classify, because I always want to be like, because if you look in our community, like the SMTN community, very rarely, and when it does come up, people get immediately spanked. Like, when you talk to the actual adults, we're never doing that, like, oh, well, Persona is this compared to this. Because, like, even if, like, you are a fan who has just played Persona, like, for the most part, all the fans are like, yeah, like, that's why, like I mentioned last week, you don't see Final Fantasy fans dunking on 6 just because they love 7, you know? It's like, there's a mutual understanding and respect for where a series is and what, like, makes it a part of it. Like, we can sit here all day and fucking dunk on Ronde or fucking Makin X or Makin Chao, but, like, at the end of the day, they're all part of, like, one puzzle that's interesting to be together, and why would you make something more boring? Because, like I said, if the entire series was just Persona 1 through 5, I think there would be a lot of charm that was left on the cutting room floor.
Of course. Like, oh my god. Some of my fondest memories of fucking Megaton, like, just getting out of the Naruku Tower for the first time, and just seeing just this shit show of Tokyo. That's not something that could ever be recreated in Persona, ever. Like, you just can't do it. And I think it's again, with the comparing thing, like, yeah, they're very different. But the point is, like, you have variety, you have different shit, right? So I don't think that, I don't know, the Persona fans are like, oh yeah, I refuse to play Shin Megami Tensei. And you have also the assholes on the Megaton Reddit that are crying about Persona, which I don't think is actually very many. Because I think a lot of SMT fans, which can also be myself at times, just kind of get caught up when they see like a King Goomba tweet and just get really mad. I just don't think that there's actually, that division is quite as bad as we make it out to be, although it's epic there.
Yeah, the big thing I always try to emphasize to people, always remember, it's called vocal minority for a reason. The silent majority is always there. Like, great example, our Facebook group is almost like 8,500 members or something. An insane amount of people who just interact by liking stuff. Like, I see all the analytics for it, and then you'd be like, oh my god, like, this guy's so negative, like, what a bad, like, side of the community. Like, you're gonna be like, okay, 3 people commenting bad takes, getting themselves spanked publicly, and then comparing of, like, okay, out of, like, thousands, it's just like, no, it's like one of those things of, like, and that's also, like, one of the big reasons of, like, why I'm always, like, I want people to, like, I don't ever want there to be a rule of, like, oh, you can't talk about this, can't do this. Like, as long as you're not making fun of or, like, hurting someone's feelings or whatever. It's one of those things of, I love when someone will, like, maybe put something that is just inexplicably wrong out there. Because, yes, for the most part, like, 5 out of 10 times, it's going to be, haha, look at this person who seriously thinks like this or whatever. Or it can have a situation of someone learning something and being like, oh, hey, let's actually talk about this. Like, hey, I know you've only played Persona 3, 4, and 5, but, like, let me tell you all the things you might have been missing. Let me explain, like, how these might have actually started in other places and, like, the different connecting tissue and everything for that. So those learning moments can't happen unless you have the King Goombas of the world making those stupid tweets. And yes, it can get really annoying when someone doesn't take a hint. Like, trust me, if I had someone like a King Goomba in our Facebook group, it would not be a thing of like, okay, buddy, like, we get it, you gotta go, like, you're spamming at a certain point. But the majority of people out there who even might have what some would say is a bad take, it's great having those moments of like, hey, let's talk about it, let's learn, let's make it an experience. Well, man, thank you so much for the
No,
thank you so much for the varied topic of. I don't even know where we started, but I'm sure at some point I mentioned I had a reason to mention Kill la Kill for some reason. Plus, mystery solved. Thank you to chat and Google. CLP stands for Chilean peso, which is not doing too hot. So thank you so much extra now for the super chat for teaching me about Chilean pesos being abbreviated to CLP. But yeah, man, do you have a little sign off anywhere you want people to follow you, stuff like that?
Not really. I got a Twitter I do. I'm not gonna plug anything. I am gonna say one thing though. I've been following you on Twitter for like a decent while, and I did not know you had a YouTube channel. Oops.
Welcome to the world of bad marketing.
All right. Yeah, I'll see you.
Thanks, man. Have a good one. All right, sir. I have kept you in here for way too long, and I'm gonna very much ruin your name, so apologies. For our next guest is Jar or Isae. Nope, already gonna mess it up. Please tell me how to pronounce your name because I'm doing a terrible job.
I just want to say I love your work, man. Love your podcast and stuff. This is my first time being on live. And first time on the call, too, so nice to meet you, dude.
Thank you so much. You sound great. You're doing great. You've got more confidence than I do at, like, the 3-hour mark, so you're killing it. So what's on your mind, man? Also, please, I need to know, how do I pronounce your username?
I don't know. I just got it off, like, a random name generator when I was in 5th grade. And it just stuck ever since. It's Isasajar.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I mean, when you say it like that, that does make more sense. So I feel a little less bad about like looking at it. Just like the random name generator thing does make a lot more sense now.
Yeah, totally. All right, I just want to talk to you about the collector's edition situation today, dude. It was super awkward today because like I'm turning 17 tomorrow, and I wanted to get my dad to pre-order the thing for me. So I'm like sitting there at 12 p.m. with him, like looking through all the links, and the slow realization comes down that like, oh, Atlas did a poopy today and messed up the pre-order thing. Mm-hmm. So that was just a funny moment from today.
Now I gotta ask you this because I have been in a similar boat, especially with RPGs. It's kind of like my favorite. Do you have to explain to your dad if he's getting this for you? Now, obviously, it's like a birthday thing. But, like, it's now an inside joke with my dad, and I'm, like, 20... Oh, my God, I forgot how old I am. I'm 27, I think. So I had to trick my dad literally every time there was a Final Fantasy of telling my dad, hey, I really want Final Fantasy wasn't enough. I had to, like, tell him, no, Dad, this is the last one. It's the last Final Fantasy. Like, I can't not get Final Fantasy 13-2. They're ending it here, Dad. It's really the ending, and I need it, like, really bad. So, like, does your dad have any idea, like, when he buys that for you, what it is? Or is it just like, it's a birthday gift, whatever, throw money at the screen?
It's classic, do the Final Fantasy thing. No, he like, sometimes asks, like, what game is it? I just, like, awkward silence, because, like, if I'm buying Mario or something, then obviously I can say that, but I'm not going to tell my dad, oh, buy Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster Digital Deluxe Edition or some dumb shit like that.
Dad, I'm very horny for this man in the game I'm playing as. He's got luscious hair, he's inside of another man, and I want to play as him, please. Yeah, also, please. I punch God in the face, maybe. Probably.
Yeah, and then Nahabino body pillow, very essential birthday present for her.
Guys, can we just get Nahabino body pillow, just please? Like, someone just like get like the nastiest art possible on both sides. We've got to like. I'm sure homemade body pillows are a thing. I'm sure someone does that.
Oh, absolutely! Like they're gonna show up on Etsy like within the month the game comes out.
Okay, so I have one question for you before I try and knock out the last couple of these, so my wife doesn't leave me for my neighbor who will probably not be on a 9-hour podcast all night. Just because you're a little on the younger side, and I know that in the grand scheme of things, we're all babies here. We're all either babies or we're all babies. What was your first game that got you into the series for SMT? And then what is the last one you have played from the series?
Okay, all right. I think I first heard about like all of Megaten when Joker came to Smash, and then I found out like Persona, it's like comes from SMT, so I emulated SMT1 English on my phone, and I liked it. I got to the post-apocalyptic part. So that's like a third in. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then I got SMT4 on my 3DS. I liked it, but I didn't actually finish the game until I got Persona 3 Portable a bit later, like when quarantine started last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty new into the series, but I've played like all the mainline stuff except for If, and I'm really excited for 5. It's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome, and I have a recommendation for you in terms of one you haven't picked up, but it'll definitely be like a man. This game still fucks really hard. If you ever find yourself with the time to play it, and I know it's easier said than bought legally, Soul Hackers still holds up very well. Great soundtrack. Awesome art design.
I got all the 3DS games like a while ago. It's just I got like so many games in my backlog. I still have that and both the Devil Survivors like on my list for games to play. So looking forward to it, dude.
Awesome. Thank you so much for waiting, man. I appreciate you slogging through this show, but I hope you enjoyed popping on at least for a little bit here.
Absolutely, dude. Awesome show tonight.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good one. Okay, so we have 2 people left, unless 9,000 people want to pop into the chat, which, hey, you know what? We've already gone this far. Why the heck not? So, again, last call for real. So, I'm going to have on Zeron first, and then Jack, because Zeron is... We've gone so long, Zeron had to go to school and is now back. This is like the world I've put you all through. So thank you for subjecting yourself to this. But yeah, Zeron, what are your thoughts about today if you are able to unmute yourself, assuming you are out of class?
It's pretty awkward for Atlas and the several retailers, right?
So I have to actually ask, because as someone who's not part of North America, without doxing you here, are you... Because I was talking to a friend about this who... Oh my god, I hope I'm right. Otherwise, I mean, she probably isn't going to hear this, but I think I was talking to someone who lives in the Philippines, or at least that like part of like Asia, and I was wondering, like, are like the fans in that part of the world, like, are you guys like wanting the American edition, the Asian edition, hoping you get something at all? Like, what's the international like fandom approach of like, all right, we're not in Europe and we're not in America, like, where are you guys all at?
I mean, for me, I want that collector's edition. It's just the money. It's the prani, yeah.
Oh, and when you say that collector's edition, which region do you mean specifically?
I mean, best bet is gonna be because Strikers, the one we get was for the PlayStation 4 was the collector's edition from Japan. So I was thinking, oh, maybe we'll get the Shin Megami Tensei 5 Japanese edition.
Get that shirt. Get the exclusive. I will say, I've seen the box for the Strikers Asian English version. It is trippy as hell. It's exactly the same CE that Japan got for Strikers, like a Scramble. But seeing it, because they actually made a new box that says Strikers on it, just for Asia. And I'm like, that is really fucking cool, but I really don't need it. But the fact that it exists and it is a English collector's edition that wasn't released in North America, kind of like it really, really fucking tips me. And like then seeing how much it goes for now, like, okay, nope, don't do it, resist, stay strong.
Yeah. I wish I would get the collectors. If not, I'll just stick to standards and just have the pre-order bonus from that retailer.
For you though, when it comes to ordering stuff, is there like an online retailer you try and like go to in terms of whether it be importing local? Do you try and like stick with stuff? Because I know certain places, especially like mom and pop shops, can sometimes have an easier time of just going to them and be like, hey, I'm going to pay you for it now, and then they'll buy it from whoever they have to buy it from.
Only Data Blitz. It's the only my mom, trusted. Others was like, nah. Yeah, just Data Blitz. And it will take a while. Like, we don't know I don't know if today, maybe, or it's still at 3rd to 4th week of October. So yeah.
Oh yeah, because I feel like, especially with like the other like regions of the world outside of like the big ones like America and Europe, when they get announced, like we were talking about this with Nocturne, like we didn't have it officially announced until like what, a week before it was out in May.
I think 12 days or 13 days before the actual release date.
Yeah, so it's like, in a sense, I appreciate it for it's so close to launch. You kind of just have to like, okay, you're either getting it or you're not. But then it like gets to that point of like, once you're sort of out of that window, I would worry then prices are just going to skyrocket or they're just going to sit there forever. Like back when I would do a lot of importing for like Asian games, it would be kind of nice of like the golden days of like, oh, I would email this site, they would ship it to me through DHL or whatever. And I mean, the prices you were paying a little bit more money because you're importing it, but for the most part, they sat on a lot of stock for a while. But like, do you feel like the situation now is like, because like in the West, the collector's market has just been disgusting. Of like stores can't hold on to anything. Like, what have game stores over there been like for you?
Ever since the pandemic, I've been buying it online, but I never just collected few games. Like Striker is my first collected physical game. Bought in a retailer, because sometimes I buy seriously in a mall, like literally a mall. Yeah, weird.
Hey, I was just at the mall like I think 2 days ago. So do not for I still buy games at the mall as well. Although I'm also like in the middle of a Midwestern town where people are barely acting like the pandemic is a thing at all. So each is all different. Like, are your malls like pretty packed? Because like ours are basically like everything is back to normal in terms of everyone there barely wearing masks, stuff like that. Like, what are your malls been like?
Ever since, I think people packed, but majority of them are just buying foods, essential items, you know. Yeah, pretty much weird stuff.
No, I mean, I get it. Because I think, though, because I know what kind of, like, mall you're talking about. I think, like, when someone hears a mall, like, especially, like, if you're, like, more from, like, the Western, like, world, like, you kind of have, like, that idea of, like, you're just going for clothes, you're just going for, like, electronics and stuff like that, as opposed to, like, oh, I'm going to get, like, more, like, daily stuff, like, you might pop in and out of every day.
Yeah.
But before I think we have like one person left, no, we have two because I'm way too late. Is there anything else you want to say? Any last questions or things you want to let everyone in the chat know?
For anyone who's question if it's gonna be, they gonna ship it international? No, they don't. Kind of sad, you know. Especially that Strikers collector's edition.
There's like I think like I saw like one on eBay for that Strikers Collector's Edition, and like it's been up there forever because there's just been some audacious, it's been some fucking audacious thing of like, oh, it's like $500, we'll ship it to you, and I'm like, no, like I can't warrant a dumb box for that. Like I've paid a lot of money for really obscure stuff, but like I can't do it just for like a Strikers box that just says Strikers and not Scramble.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night, okay?
Yeah. Rest
All
of
right.
my day, yeah.
Rest of your, yeah. So my night for you, my night for me, day for you. Because I'm gonna guess, is it like, because you're what, 15 hours ahead of me probably? Is it before or after noon?
Before noon. It's actually 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. That's absolutely horrifying for me to think. But thank you again so much for waiting so long and coming on. Have a good rest of your day, okay?
Okay.
All right, so next up, our second to last person. Last person looks like it'll be Frog Juice Justice. But first is the very patient Jack Devilbuster. Jack, how you doing tonight? We have scared Jack away, and so all we have left is Frog Juice Justice. Save us, please, Frog Juice Justice.
So, I have no idea what's going on with the pre-orders.
Congratulations, you've just caught everyone up for the last 3 hours of this show. Thank you.
So I'm from the U.S., right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course I was there at 10. Nothing. And then an hour passes, nothing. And I'm frantically checking my phone because I'm still at work. I don't even know if I want the damn thing anymore.
Oh yeah, like I've talked to a lot of people like that today who are like, this situation has sucked so bad that like, man, I don't even want to give you my fucking $120 anymore. Like, you just haven't deserved it.
Or even like, do I even want it that bad?
Yeah, like there are a lot of people like that in your boat. You're not alone there for sure.
So to my understanding, the only U.S. retailer that has put it up was GameStop, right?
Well, yeah, U.S. So yeah, because VGP technically would not count as that, but yes.
Yeah. And did the website ever update to say, like, click here to pre-order from GameStop? Or did GameStop just put it up without the website doing anything?
So the website was so late that by the time they finally had links, they just had to put sold out in really, really shitty text that you can kind of see if you're looking at the show notes for this one or on the live stream. And it's...
Yeah, I saw that.
When I saw that image sent to me, yeah, I thought that was like, oh, someone did this because they're all sold out. No. Someone at Atlas had to do that on the website. Like, it looks so fucking bad.
I've got a question.
Yeah, what's up?
So, should I start 4 or Nocturne first? Well, I don't own Nocturne.
You already own 4 though?
I already own 4.
I'm going to say jump into 4, even though probably 3 might be a little more visually appealing than 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that just from the sense of, I think 4 is still going to give you a good kind of appetizer for 5 in some of the sense of music, design, storytelling.
I think it's the battle theme for the Minotaur fight, I think. What is it? Battle B2? The names are so silly.
Oh, yeah.
That one... with the tubular bell sounding thing, oh my god, I love that song so much. I haven't even opened the game.
It's I would still say go into 4 if you're up for it. Like, and this is coming from someone who literally just platinumed Nocturne, so it's like, I'm still recommending that game with a fucking 10-foot pole, and that 10-foot pole better have $30 on it, because like, I just feel so gross telling people to buy that game at full price. Even at like 40, I'm like, no, dude, 30 all the way. And even then, it's like there's caveats to it all, because then it's like,
you could have gotten it for, I think, 26 if you did this cancellation sale method at Target, because it was buy 2 get 1 free, and then so it's like you buy 3 copies of Nocturne, you cancel 2, so you end up getting it for $26. But it's such a damn headache just for that.
Oh yeah.
You know, my friend bought it, and I went over to his house. I didn't expect the music to be that. I bet a lot of other people thought that they were that everybody online were, you know, making it more making it more of a fuss than it actually was. No, the battle themes, or what is it? The overworld and battle, like random encounters. That was so bizarre to hear that tinny sound come out of a Switch.
Yeah, like the funny thing is, like, man, when you do play 4, highly recommend plug some headphones in. It is a crisp sound.
You know, the
fucking
3DS
soundtrack.
has some of the like freaking most underrated, like, I don't know, like audio, whatever.
I think some games. I think the majority is pretty ugly and gross sounding and looking, but there are rare cases of like, oh yeah, this looks hard. Like Smash Brothers, immaculate. SMT4 and Apocalypse,
I have no
immaculate.
idea how.
It's all compression. It's all the algorithms and the stuff they use for it, and like just sounds really good. Oh, a great example. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. That just fucking sounds like a console game. It looks like a console game. It's like one of the prettiest, best running games on the system. Hilariously came out like within a year of it, so not a great sign. I'm listing all these early ass games, but yeah, like to get that from third party was very, very rare. And yeah, 4, I think it definitely helped that they cheaped out on it. They cheaped out on 4 very, very hard. There's not a lot of 3D models. There's a lot of just 2D pixel art and a lot of reused art assets. But what's there, what's new, is really interesting, what's really unique, and like stuff like that, I cannot recommend enough.
Cool. And I'm super confused about what the hell's going on with Apocalypse or Final.
So basically, just look at that as if like it's a what if ending. So Apocalypse is going to be like, just do not touch that until you beat 4. Doesn't matter what ending, because it doesn't really affect playing Apocalypse. But I just like, you will absolutely have a way better experience going in, and it's nice that it's not based off of one ending, because it's actually kind of a what if ending that you couldn't get in 4. So 4 is kind of its own take of like, okay, what if this really crazy thing happened? Of sort of similar to how Dragon Quest Builders is a sequel to Dragon Quest 1. And yeah, it's cool, but not necessary. But you get a lot more stuff from it.
Like the Nier and Drakengard,
yes,
however you pronounce
yeah,
it.
That's another one of like you'll appreciate it so much more if you put in that extra time. And 4 is just such a great experience on its own. Of like you gotta give it to. But yeah, do not let the people who talk about Final or Apocalypse ever kind of get shot. They're both. There's a reason they were sold as a double pack. It's a great experience back to back.
Huh. Yeah, it just seems so visually and tonally different. Just like the key art alone.
It is, and I can explain why, but then I will kind of spoil it and I'll feel like a piece of shit. So I won't say it. I'll say at least it tonally makes sense. It tonally makes sense.
And I heard you talking about Soul Hackers to the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one that is a little. I mean, it's not exactly hard to get on the secondhand market right now, but it's like double the price on eBay right now. You can't get it for any cheaper than $80, which is that's how 3DS games are going right now.
Oh, that's the shitty part. That's not how 3DS. It's literally just Atlas. Like if you look at any other, like no one's fucking dumping $80 into Fire Emblem games right now, unless like you're a really specific.
Oh yeah,
case.
I mean,
it's weirdly
SMT
just
3DS
Atlas. Games. Yeah, Atlas, SMT, Persona, like stuff like that. Like no one's fucking looking at One Piece on 3DS and be like, oh man, look at the price on this bad boy now.
That's a limited run one. The what is it? Is it the Romance Dawn one? The RPG?
Romance Dawn, and then also
that's a limited print.
Unlimited World R as
Yeah, but one of them is a limited print.
You can still buy
buy number 72 out of, I don't know, 15,000 right now for like $25 on eBay.
Yeah, like 3DS games have to try very hard to be rare. Even like literally when Limited Run did a 3DS game, they took forever to sell out because there's just no demand for it like Vita at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, I've got to wrap up. I've got like 2 people left, and I promise at some point I'm ending the show. But thank you so much for popping on and being patient.
Alrighty.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I'll probably jump into 4 soon.
Oh yeah, let me know what you think. I'm very much excited. I always love hearing like from people like jumping into stuff like super late after release because like you're just going into like it with a totally different set of eyes. But yeah, so we are going to power through. No one else. This is the final cast list. I promise. We have special guest. Hold on, calling me now. Hold on, I'll call you in 1 second. I'm trying to cue this up to have you last. Special guest to May the End, but we're going to have first Rabby Dev, we're going to have Poto, and we're going to have Matt, in that order. Matt, the Wab, right? Not the Wob?
Shoot. You got it.
Yeah,
I even edited my nickname.
That's why you're going
for you.
last, because I got it right. Matt the Wow. That's how you know we're having a good day. Okay, we're all gonna go these three really fast, and then we're gonna have our final guess, and then we gotta finish because I really gotta fucking go. I've got to do something that's not working this today. But I love you all so much. Thank you all for watching. It's still all 150 of you live. You're beautiful, amazing people. So Rabby Dev, success story. What are your thoughts on today as someone who fucking sold a kidney to get this game's collector's edition?
My experience was a little unique for this. I was at work all day, just trying to sneak, looking at the Atlas website, hitting F5, alt-tabbing whenever the boss walked by. And I was doing that for a solid 45 minutes, losing my mind.
it was some funny parts happened on that where there are so many people doing exactly what I was doing across the U.S. I'm sure that the site went down multiple times. We'd be getting sent to Cloudflare or whoever they're.
Oh yeah, they almost looked like they were having DDoS attack, but it was just
it was
just that many people.
But so I was going onto the Mega 10 subreddit to express my woes.
As a Redditor does.
Just getting mad that I'm gonna get caught by my boss if this keeps on going for too much longer. And there was this one guy named Quexen in the server who just happened to say, just picked up the premium edition from Video Games Plus in Canada. And I've never heard of the company, nothing about it.
They must have got a lot of fucking traffic today. I heard this is like one of their biggest sellers they've had like in months. Like they were nice enough to DM me and stuff. But yeah, they without getting into specifics, big day for Canadian retailer VGP.
So I never heard of the company. I just took a big chance, $160, $130 with.
By the time, like, considering it's free shipping for you, you kind of basically just paid like $10 for shipping, and you got it like for basically no upcharge at that point.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, and anyone else listening, I was just curious because they will hypothetically get more next week as long as shit doesn't totally hit the fan. They are great shipping, even though they are based in Canada. Like, if you live in North America, like, they have really, really great fast shipping times.
That's good to hear. I was messaging them on Twitter, trying to verify if I was going to get it release week or if I could expect it a week late. But they were saying that I should get it release week too, which is more than I can ask for.
Yeah, they don't wait till like release day then ship it. They do that. Okay, we're going to ship it a little before, and you're either going to get it on release day or like right after or right before.
Yeah. But that's my success story.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Do you have any other last thing you want to say before we get Matt and our last final guest in here? We knocked one down because I was being very rude, but we have still two more people after.
I just want to touch on what the last guy said. Back him up on it. The SMT3 on the Switch, they really did us dirty with that audio.
Okay, man, I'm excited to like dive into the Switch one once I finally like pay a very little for it because I don't want to pay a lot for that port. Just to like dig into it technically of like see the comparison because everyone's like, oh, the frame rate this or like, oh, like this for like I want to get into the things that people aren't talking about of like the crunchiness of it because like it definitely does not sound the same. It's not up to parity, which is sad when you realize we're all talking about a PS2 game here.
Once you get to the Matador fight, you're gonna feel it. I'll tell you that.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for popping in, and enjoy your collector's edition. You've earned it. And, yes, this is our goodbye, and then our hello, another goodbye, and then our final actual goodbye. So next up, Matt, woe us with your tales of success or misery today. What was today like for you?
Today was quite miserable. I saw the Wario64 tweet. And then I went on the GameStop, put it in my cart, and as I was clicking order now, it errored on me and was out of stock. So that was fun.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
I had a chance. I had a chance to get it at GameStop, but I had this weird gut feeling in my brain of like, no. You'll find an in-store version somehow. Or Best Buy. I trust Best Buy more than I trust GameStop, but like I had something like in my gut telling me I could care to wait. Like, do you have a plan now going forward of like what you're looking for, or are you just like every day hoping to just wake up, you'll find it, buy it really quick, and then it'll go out of stock right after you check out?
I mean, I have a friend at GameStop, so
having friends at GameStop helps. I have been that annoying friend texting my old boss way too much today.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried. The thing I'm worried about though is, well, I won't be in this state when the game comes out.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, will you at least still be in the country? Will someone be around to grab your game for you?
Someone will be around to grab my game. I'll be in another state. I won't be gone, but I'll still be able to get it at least.
Okay. All right. Any last questions, thoughts, slurs you want to throw out before we get our last guest on here and freedom awaits?
Just a quick mention about a 3DS game that is going up in price right now due to a recent announcement. Metroid Samus Returns.
What a world, man. The world of 3DS collecting. Oh, are you getting a sequel on another system? Cool. Now that game's expensive. Like, what a fucking, what a weird, like, remember, people couldn't give away Samus Returns. That was on shelves forever.
Yeah, I'm looking at the most recent sold listing on eBay for $100. So, that's fun.
Being a Nintendo fan is so fun! Yay! Oh my god. I'm glad I have those amiibo, though. Those amiibo are really fucking cool.
I'll never play Fusion Mode.
I forgot about that. Literally, I forgot that was a whole thing they, like, locked behind the amiibo, right?
Yeah, the Metroid amiibo.
Wow, I totally fucking forgot
now
about that.
$60 Metroid amiibo.
Oh my god, please, Metroid Dread, please add more stock. I really want to buy your Steelbook and your amiibos, please, for the love of God. Oh, alright. Well, thank you, Matt. Talking to you was a delight, and before you say goodbye and we get our special guest, give us one fun fact about Gravity Rush, as my fellow Gravity Rush stan.
You guys know that before it came out on the Vita, it was being developed for the PlayStation 3, and it was going to incorporate both the events of Gravity Rush 1 and Gravity Rush 2.
That is a great fun fact, and I think already better than every fun fact Did You Know Gaming has ever done about the Vita. So thank you so much. That was a good one. Shout out to Team Not Silent Anymore / Team Gravity / Team Siren for fucking kicking ass, and I cannot wait to see what their next solo project is.
You guys have a good night.
Oh, you too, man. Thanks so much. Sorry, I'm like half juggling my phone. All right, everybody, our last final guest. They may not be waffles, but they sure sound monotone a lot. Is on the phone. Hopefully gonna pick up. Let's find out. If anyone guesses, this will be very funny. Hey, are you ready for me to put you on speakerphone to 140 people on YouTube? Okay. No, hey man, the fact that I'm going for 3 hours and 10 minutes should be bothering everybody. Okay, so special guest, do you want to say who you are?
I'm Gnarly. I do YouTube videos and stuff.
I don't believe you. I haven't seen a video of yours in 9 years, but I'm glad you came out of retirement to call us on our sex hotline and talk all about Shin Megami Tensei 5 Collector's Edition debacle. You've been weirdly quiet about this, probably because you're an adult and you have to work as well. What has your thoughts about today been? And, like, as someone, like, I don't even, like, know, like, did you try for this? Like, I'm genuinely curious, like, as your friend, like, what has today been like for you?
I mean, I'm not, to be honest, I don't really care that much. I'm not all that big into collector's editions.
I had a feeling you would be, like, the wet blanket of it, but were you surprised how quickly it sold out, though? Because I don't think anyone could have called that.
I mean, to be honest, no, because pretty much all Megaton collector's editions sell out super fast.
But then, like, we've been talking about this for like 3 hours. Like, dude, P5R didn't sell out. PQ2 didn't sell out until after launch. P5 didn't sell out. Like, the last time SMT had a collector's edition was SMT4 8 years ago. And even that didn't sell out at launch. That was just the launch edition.
Okay, but I mean, that was 8 years ago.
Very true, which then has led to, like, the speculation of they just had no idea how many to make, so, like, they were going off 8-year-old stats.
And also, like, the only thing that came with it was like a crappy remix CD and an art book.
Okay, I'm gonna slam you to the WrestleMania mat for a second. I'm gonna defend that because for $10 extra, you got a pretty cool strategy guide, that covers the early part of the game and all the demons, and you got a arrangement of sounds from all of the past SMT games before, of like, yeah, it wasn't a great like CD, but it was a good little sampling of stuff from SMT 1, 2, IF, and 4.
I mean, I guess, but they were charging. I mean, like, Atlas charged $50 for most of their 3DS games anyway.
No, Atlas had only ever charged $50 for SMT4, and that was because it was a huge box. It was like a big thing.
They did it for Record Breaker too.
Everyone says that, and I've had to correct every.
They
No,
also,
Record.
They also did it for PQ.
PQ. Actually, PQ you might be right about, but no, Record Breaker was a $40 video game. I can confirm. That was a $40 video game. PQ might have been, but PQ was a weird one of like everyone bought the collector's edition, so I don't think people might have like, because like that was like that one of like everyone wanted the collector's edition, so who bought the standard edition, you know?
But I could have sworn I paid $50 for Record Breaker. I mean, I might still have the receipt for
If you receipt, that would be amazing. I have old press emails. I can pull it up for it and look for it, but like I guarantee you all, that was a $40 game. PQ, you might be right though. I can see them charging $50 per PQ. Because you know, you had like the tarot card thing. I think that was maybe the standard one for it, but no, that is an instrument. So for you then, because we haven't had a lot of people not looking for the standard only. As someone who's just picking this up, standard edition, how do you feel about it being the steelbook, and how do you feel about the steelbook?
I think the standard edition beats steelbook's pretty good, and honestly, the steelbook's pretty good.
Okay. Last thing I'll say,
I'm not like the authority on steelbooks like you are.
What do you? Oh, well, thank you, sir. I appreciate someone recognizing me for something that's not Disney Infinity or Vita. So thank you. I'll say this though, just so we can have like a last thing to call it for. When they go back in stock, I want you to like bet. This is just a simple: will they? Won't they? Is there a chance that by the time SMT5 launches this November, will any region still have a collector's edition option still in stock?
Asia probably will. Well, I'm kind of hoping that Asia will, because that's when I'm going to be in Korea, and I'm kind of hoping that I'll like some.
There could be a Korean English version. That is possible.
I'm kind of hoping that like some shady shop in the middle of like some like, I don't know, some like red light district downtown will have a copy a few days early.
Yeah, you'll go up there and you'll see a guy who looks exactly like Mito, and he just says, "Can I interest you in a happy ending?" And he lifts up his wardrobe, and it is just the Korean collector's edition, exclusive to the red light district, for SMT5 on Switch. Yeah. Now I'll say this: what do you do? What do you do if you absolutely fuck up your life and before you go to Korea you forget your Switch?
I don't think I'm gonna forget my Switch, but if I do forget it, I'll probably just, I don't know, buy a new one.
That's if you can find one. Okay. Well, I appreciate you for letting me bother you, man. I've absolutely got to get the fuck out of here, but in case someone has never heard of you before and wants to hear more of your dulcet tones, where can people find you online?
You can check out my channel. It's youtube.com/c/Niarly, and on Twitter, it's crawling_Niarly.
All right, man. I'll tell you, you know what? I do have one last thing, because I am a big fucking liar and I can never get off this show, apparently. If you had a chance, let's say you're going into a GameStop tomorrow for some reason, and you find out that the collector's editions are in stock for pre-order, would you lay down the bucks, or are you going to stay strong and only buy the 60?
How much is it again?
$120. It is double the price.
Yeah, I'll probably do it.
Okay. Then I guess I have to ask, because you didn't know the price offhand. Do you think the Switch case, double CD, steelbook, and art book, do you think that's worth $120 in your opinion?
To be honest, no. I'd say it's worth more like maybe $90 at most.
Interesting. Okay. I agree to disagree, but I know everyone's always different with collector's editions, because I'm apparently the only one who looks at Monarch and says, I'll pay $90 for that. All right, man. Well, I have absolutely got to get out of here. Thank you for letting me bother you. You can say goodbye to chat now and pretend that all 150 of them are saying goodbye back at you.
Okay. All right. See you, everybody.
All right, everybody. That was our final guest. He actually got passionate about it, which I appreciated greatly. So thank you to all of our guests who have either actually called in, or hopped into the Discord Town Hall. Thank you all so much for doing this for like the last 3+ hours. I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble once this is done, but yeah, this was fun. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Everyone who put up with this either live or otherwise, thank you all for all of this, whatever it was. And a shout out to person, once again, whose name I forgot, but thank you for teaching me about Chilean pesos and the very bad conversion rate between that and US dollars. Tatsu, for being the #1 SMTN fan of the live stream for that 2,500 Chilean peso super chat. You are the man, the myth, the legend, or whatever you would like to be called. But yeah, so quick little summary. I do this every week, usually Tuesdays, sometimes live on the YouTube. Search Shin Megami Tensei Network. You'll usually find it. There's a better description. This has gone on for a really long time. You all are awesome. You all are beautiful. I hope you're subscribed. It means a lot to me. You can listen to the show on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, all that fun stuff. Edited version of this should be up tomorrow morning if I'm really, really lucky. And, yes, that is it. Thank you all so much for this. You're all awesome. I love you all so much. I've got to go. I'm just very tired. I'm very tired. I'm very hungry. Patreon.com/SMTN. All the producers on there. You're all beautiful. You're all sexy. You're all amazing. Thank you all for supporting this dumpster truck I do every week. This was an absolute blast. Our first town hall went out without any problems. Everyone was awesome. Everyone was just super fun and super chill and fun to chat with. So fun times all around, and thank you to the soundtrack of SMT4 Apocalypse for keeping me strong for this 3 hours and 20 minutes. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. I love you all. I'm so thirsty and hungry, and God, I need to shower. Goodbye, chat. Goodbye, LKD. Goodbye, Omi Guzman. Goodbye, World Dominator. Goodbye, Killamo. Goodbye, SaberX. Mr. Reese Reviews. Potato Activist. I killed Giants. Ethan C. Benny. Zero to you. Sam Eagerland. Topix 935. I am in breath. Break 2. Goodbye. Go ahead, everybody. Oh my god. Whew.